Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know you have rights? Well, you do. Sure, they're old-timey. They were written by a bunch of guys in powdered wigs and knee socks. Boring! But believe it or not, they're still surprisingly relevant. Your rights include, but are not limited to, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, freedom against unreasonable searches and seizures, etc., etc. Wow, you lucky so-and-so. Look at you, you got rights coming out the wazoo, all because a whole bunch of good people, 250 years worth, sacrificed everything they had for this awesome wallpaper behind me. Know your rights. And for the love of Mike, don't ever give them up.
I'm Mike, and I approve this message.
Before we enter the arena, we face a moment of truth. When we with a bold first step.
Ruby, did you forget to play our song? What the hell?
I was mute. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
You were muted.
Oh, okay. Yo,
where's our intro?
I was mesmerized by the UFC stuff. I was like, let's go. I'm ready.
Time out, folks. We gotta play an intro.
This is way too much. Oh my word. All right. I'll see you guys in about 2 minutes.
Jesus.
This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world.
Cameras on, we're going live tonight. American pride and patriot fight. The white rabbit has taken flight. Knock, knock, sleepy Neo, this is for real. We're swallowing red pills left and right. Come and overdose with us Tuesday night. They say we're crazy, say we've gone too far, but we're just truth seekers under the dome. Don't be mad at us, Google Chrome. They laugh, they mock, they think we're insane. Please just use your effing brain. This is the UPC where real Americans are standing up, taking control of the matrix we keep dying for. You don't like it, you can leave. If you wanna complain, call the damn 6 screens, cause we're already detached from deep state machines. They say we're crazy, they say I've gone too far, ready to drown us with feathers and tar. If you're still in our country, we haven't gone far enough. They love to hate us, thinking we've gone insane, but we could care less, they don't know our pain. This is the UPC where real Americans are standing up, taking control beat machines.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Unrelenting Political Corner.
We haven't even started yet, and I'm tripping already. So I already know it's gonna be a long night for me.
Oh my God. I'm glad I have an outline prepared for this evening because there's a lot to get to tonight. And
Yep.
for the folks out there in the live chat and those that are not in the live chat, please get your notepads ready tonight because you're going to want to take some notes. First thing we're going to do this evening is we're going to do the game. We told you last week, since we ran out of time last week, we're going to do the game first this evening for about maybe 30 minutes or so. We'll see how that goes. Then I'm going to go into some information about the UFC event that happened, the UFC event 250. It wasn't exactly what everybody thinks it was. And I've got some information to bring out about that, which I think will be right up Bo's alley because it points to a certain country that starts with the letter B. We'll get into that. And then after that's over, we're going to move to Gail for the second part of the orphan train information. She's going to go a little deeper into the people that were behind that, paying for it, and talking about the Cabbage Patch Kids. So if you don't know us, I'm your co-host, Jimmy Bell, with Ruby Quinn, the host of the show, and our other, might as well say our other co-host, Bo Benson. And Leonard seems to be on there too. So hello, everyone. Welcome. It's going to be a long night.
Yes. So quick announcement. So Leonard, we're gonna pick up Amendment 7 next Tuesday. So,
okay, that's fine.
Yes. So thank you. So that gives us time to kind of read up on it, take some notes if you want, join the show next Tuesday so we can talk about it together.
Right.
Yeah. So just wanted to let you know that. And then the second announcement is, so next Tuesday, let me look at my calendar real quick just to confirm. Okay, is the 23rd. Now I plan on going to a movie screening that starts at 7. So I will be cutting it super close. So I'm thinking we might start the show at around 9:30 or 9:45, around there. So
or we could just take a break.
If you want, it's up to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm only here with you guys for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be here. I'll be home like around 9 o'clock, and then we could start 9:30 or 9:40. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you guys want to do, just let me know in the comments. We have a week to prepare what we're going to do. Yeah, so that's really cool. It's a movie screening from a local Orthodox brother in our, our sphere, and he produced the movie himself.
Oh wow,
and
that's cool.
It's going to be like a meet and greet, and it's a free event in my area, and they're raising funds to build a new church and everything. So it's really cool to be like a part of something from the ground up. So I really want to try to make it. So just wanted to let you guys know I might not be on time next Tuesday, but if you still want to hang out, we'll still hang out.
Cool deal.
All right. So I think that's it for announcements.
Announcements. Okay.
Yeah,
Bo, do you have any opening comments for this evening? You're on mute, or I can't hear you.
No, well, your mic is on, but we can't hear you. So check your settings because it's on your end.
Ruby.
Okay, now there you go. Yes, Leonard.
In Florida, where are you? Are you Sarasota, Florida, or are you Bradenton, Florida?
Well, that's where I'm from, but I'm not gonna dox myself on the internet.
You guys hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Is it clear or does it sound weird?
A little.
Because I hear scratchy on my side.
Yes, a little scratchy.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna dox myself, but it's Central Florida, so I'll just say that. All right, Jimmy, where do you want to start? Because I know everybody's excited about the game. We didn't get to play last.
Yeah, and so I'll say before we start the intro for the game, tonight there's going to be several videos we play. I do have one that is about 18 minutes. Now I know when you say that, it's like, oh God, 18. But I'm telling you, and I'll say it again before we play it, you're gonna want to listen to all of it. So, and you'll probably want to replay it, go listen to it again so you can understand it. So, but I'll mention that again, but I want to put that out there. And Gail has got 2 videos. They're not that long. So we're good.
Right.
So just wanted to prepare the audience tonight. So, Bo, sound check?
Sound check, testing.
Yes.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and roll the clip for our game. We're going to start with the game tonight, guys.
All right, get ready. Get your notebooks out. Take points. Take notes. Thank you.
Step right up and take your seat. The battle's on. Feel the heat. Lock it in and trust your mind. Leave your doubts and fears behind. UPC trivia battle. Put your brain to the test. UPC trivia battle. Only one comes out the best. Buzzer's ready. Clock is ticking. Winners take the crown. UPC trivia battle. Don't back down.
All right.
Isn't that fun? All right. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the UPC Trivia Battle. If you want to join the panel, hit the link in the chat. Come on, and you can be part of the panel. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to. Did we do the music last time, Ruby? When I asked the question.
Of course.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the question. We're going to play the music, and then as soon as the music is over, then the panel can just speak. It's whoever speaks first. It's 10 points for each question you get right. And I'm going to give a half a point for questions that have basically like a bonus question to it. So, and then we'll see how everybody does in the chat. So, good evening, Dave. How are you doing?
Hey, Dave.
Oh my God, I'm being pulled around all over the place. I'm doing good. I just said in the chat, I was literally on a live stream going on now talking about Mormonism, right? And a Mormon gets on, so we're going back and forth, right? You guys are on, and then somebody just messaged me. It's like, hey, you know that live I told you about aliens? Can you come on that? Like there are 3 lives I've been asked to be on dropping right now. So I'm like,
well, you know what? You know what I'm just going to say here real quick? All right. So you just come on our show.
Yeah.
We didn't ask you to come here.
Exactly.
We love that. And we love that because you picked us.
Yeah.
I needed a break from like talking with an amateur Mormon apologist who does word salads and doesn't actually answer the questions, but I'll probably be bouncing around.
We know the feeling. We know.
All right. We're gonna stay on point tonight, folks, and we're going to try to avoid any sidetracks this evening because there is a lot of stuff this evening. So let's go ahead and start with the very first question of the evening. And I'm going to make these. Some of these are pretty simple, and we're going to stay in the 1800s category. Expansion, conflict, and change. And there's a reason why I want to stay in this category this evening because of all the other information that's going to follow on tonight's program. So, first question. Who led the first expedition to the Pacific coast?
Can we just...
Are you winning a person or a country?
It's a person. So let me repeat the question. Who led the first expansion to the Pacific coast? Wait till after the music to say your answer. Panel?
Go ahead.
I'm actually kind of torn between two groups, like two sets of people. I want to say it's either Lewis and Clark or Davy Crockett. I can't remember which.
I'm gonna go Lewis and Clark.
That is also in the chat, Jimmy, but for some reason I can't remember names. That's a given.
Okay.
But I do remember, and we saw it in the clip of the Indian woman walking with the men, and I remember her, and I remember her story, but I
What was
don't
her
know
name?
their names.
What was her name,
I
Ruby?
don't know her name. That's the
Pocahontas?
problem. I don't, but I remember she was with them, and I remember that I think she did get married to one of them, and she had a baby. I remember that she had a baby on her expedition, and she was the one who led them. And I just can't, for the life of me, I want to say Pocahontas, but Pocahontas is the different Indian, and I know it's not Sacagawea.
Yes.
Okay, so I gotta give that to Rod because Rod
Yeah.
put that in the
All
chat.
right, so the answer is, and give yourself points if you got it right, Lewis and Clark. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark.
I'll give myself half points because I was half right.
Yeah, you were half right. You give 5 points for being half right.
Can I take at least 3 points because I knew the story, but I didn't know the name? Like, that's so messed up. My memory is bad.
All right, you can have 3 points.
3 points. Thank you. Thank you.
Those 3 points might be the determining outcome at the end of the game. You never know. Now,
Yeah. Me and Ruby are taking our DEI points for participation.
That's messed up.
and you know what? I'm gonna keep up with this. Hold on a second. I'm gonna keep up.
That
with
is
this
so
score.
messed up.
Let me keep up with this score. All right, Bo, Ruby, Dave. All right, Ruby.
Call them DEI points. DEI points.
Well, and Bo got his legitimately. So
yeah.
All right.
I didn't know the Indian chick.
I remember the Indian chick, and nobody else said that. So
Well, that wasn't the question though. She guided
right,
it.
whatever.
But you get points for it though for knowing, because I was going to ask later. Hey, what was the lady's name? So
All right.
all right. Here we go. Second question:
Mm-hmm.
Which president signed the Indian Removal Act?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I think I know this one. But
There's gonna be some tricky ones in here tonight.
Okay.
I don't
Come
know.
on, chat. Write it in the chat. You need to have your Twitter fingers tonight.
I would go with what everyone else is saying because I don't know.
All right.
I have no
Anybody
idea.
want to take a guess?
Let me give you a hint.
Guessing it was probably not going to be right.
No
though.
hints. No hints until everybody gets their answer. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Say your
okay.
answer. Spit it out.
Adams.
No.
No.
No, I knew I was going to miss that one. I had no
Okay.
idea.
Guess you said screw it. Lincoln?
No.
Lincoln is incorrect. Here is your
Leonard. Does Leonard have a guess?
Yeah, Leonard. Sorry, Leonard. Guess.
I want to guess, but then again, I don't want to fall on my face at the same time.
Just spit a
It
name.
doesn't
Just
matter
spit a
here. We
name.
don't
It
care.
doesn't matter. It's a game.
It's for fun, Leonard. Just fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
We're all waiting for you. No pressure.
Not Lincoln.
No.
No.
Washington, that's the 1700s.
Yeah, no. You got to go later
Yeah.
on. And
Later on, so
one more guess because you said 2 names. So one more guess.
It's not Adams.
now it's not Roosevelt. That's the 30s.
Time's up for Leonard.
Oh,
You
yeah,
get-
time's up.
All right.
Time's up. Time's
Leonard.
up.
Time's
All right.
up.
So here is your hint.
What? Yes.
Oh,
Jimmy?
sorry. I thought you guessed
Come
already.
on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I guess Andrew Jackson.
And the correct answer is Andrew Jackson. All right.
Yes.
Ruby gets the
So-
10 points.
Thank you. And we got to give it to who said it in the chat. Somebody got it right
Jane,
in the chat.
the first one I saw was Jane Spitfire. She put a
Yeah.
question mark behind
Yep,
it.
Jane got it. Jane got 10 points.
So all righty. All right. I'm going to keep an eye on the time here tonight.
I need to get, all we do is win, 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 no matter what. I need to get that sound bite so I can play that every time somebody gets it on the panel.
All right. So here is the third question of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
What is the forced migration of American Indian tribes from the South and Southeast called?
Oh man.
I'm with you, Jane.
I know what it is.
Jane. I'm with Jane. Fighter. I'm with Fighter.
As soon as the music's over, panel.
Trail of
Trail of
Tears.
Tears. I was
Dave
gonna
got
say
it.
Road of Tears.
Yeah, it was Trail of Tears. Dave was first. So,
Oh my god, I actually knew that one.
All right. So
I'm
Write that
sitting
down.
here breaking my brain
got
thinking
points.
the one time I should have paid attention in high school is now, because that's the only time it'll come in.
We all
I
got
like
that
the
right.
clapping. That's
We all
good.
got
there we go. We got some clapping. That's good. All right.
We
So
got
who
it.
got it in the chat? Let's see. I think it was Native American.
A bunch of people got it. Rod.
Yeah,
White
I
in
was who got it
migration.
first.
That deserves points for this stat.
JG got it first. It looks like to me. So okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. Let's move on to the fourth question. What was discovered at Sutter's Mill in 1848?
How in the world are we supposed to know?
You should know this one. You should know this one.
I was neither there nor have I read about that place. That's messed up. I don't know. So I get 0 points.
What was discovered at Sutter's Mill in 1848? Yeah, that's it. 1848. I got a hint to
Going
go
for a
along with
generic
this.
answer because I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. So Dave or Leonard, it's up to you.
I'm gonna guess syphilis.
Oh my god, no.
No, I don't
gold.
even know what Sutter's Mill is, but
I don't mean either. I don't know.
Okay, so Leonard,
Yeah,
you got a
that'll
guess?
Oh gosh.
It's
I
okay.
will.
Because we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
You're not sure? Okay.
Not sure.
So I'm not going to address anything in the chat yet because I want to give the panel a
Yeah.
hint to get
Okay.
somebody a chance to get the 10 points. Here is your hint.
It wasn't gold, right?
What?
Yeah. You're cheating. Bo is cheating because he's looking at the chat. He's cheating. He doesn't get that. Nope.
No,
Hold on.
gold. I said gold. Play the video back.
He said gold. He
I
said
said gold. That was the first thing. No one said anything, so I was like, "Am I wrong?"
Okay, so I didn't. Yeah,
well, you can play the video back, and you'll see that I'm not a
we're
liar.
gonna go on an honor.
Ruby,
We're gonna go on an honor system
Oh, you
here.
won, bro. They're projecting, bro.
So
Okay,
the
go
answer,
ahead, go ahead.
the answer
it was
is
either
gold.
gold or
The answer is gold.
All right,
The answer
guys.
is
The
gold.
chat
it
got
was
it tonight.
gold. The other answer was going to be a syrup.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here was the
thank you.
hint I was going to give you guys. The name of a football team called the San Francisco 49ers. Because
that
would
have been like-
okay.
Over
Yeah,
my
I
head.
would've
I
never
wouldn't have
gotten
known
it.
that.
I would have gone that because of the San Francisco Gold Rush.
exactly.
Well, Dave
That's-
is smarter than all of us.
That's
so
exactly
the
what
chat
it was.
got this. The chat got the 10 points. Next question.
She's like, go on.
Let's go.
All right, so after 3 questions, Bo has 20 points, Ruby has 13,
Five,
and Diamond
five.
Dave has
No, I have
50.
15 points.
Huh?
I have 15 points.
I thought you got the first one.
No,
the first
because I said number 2. I said Andrew Jackson. I didn't
Oh,
say
no.
Andrew Jackson. I said Roosevelt. I think.
one. No,
Right.
no. Well, no,
Yeah,
I do remember.
nobody got Andrew Jackson but me, Jimmy. I was the only one in the panel that got Andrew Jackson.
Okay, so we'll subtract.
I'm at 15 points, baby. 15
All
points.
right. So it's 15, 15, 13. Here we go. Question number 4. 5, actually. Okay. I got a hit for this one, too. All right. Which trail stretching from Missouri to Oregon was used by American pioneers heading west?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And I have a very good hint for this one.
This sucks not knowing stuff.
This is why we're doing this.
I know,
All right.
but it sucks. Ooh, you guys are so smart, and now I feel stupid.
Do I get to blurt it out after the music?
Yeah,
I want to throw it up.
It's a really no. I can't say that. Never mind.
Go.
Oregon Trail.
Ah, he got it. Dave.
I was gonna see. We stole it, Dave. Gosh.
You got it.
I was gonna say it made a really cool video game.
That's
On the
exactly what I
floppy
was
disk.
thinking of. I'm like, I'm gonna say Oregon Trail because I played this game, and if I'm wrong,
And
I
I
will still
feel
die on this
stupid.
hill.
I feel stupid because I grew up on that game and I bought the CD-ROM for my kids, and now I feel stupid because I know that. But okay.
That was actually like a good question because it's like a
Yeah.
trick question because it's
Yeah.
obvious, but then like for a
Exactly.
second I'm like, wait a minute, it
Yep.
must have another name.
Leonard, did you get it?
Did you know it?
He
Leonard,
just
or
said no.
not?
He just
I didn't.
said no.
Aw.
He didn't say.
No.
He just looked at the camera. Leonard, you're funny.
He's here for the
Leonard,
laughs
you're
and giggles. He's just here to have fun.
Yeah, I love Leonard. He's great. All right. So Oregon Trail, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
I just
4,
wasn't the smartest person in school.
All right. We're only going to do 5 more questions, and we're halfway through the game. So, where is my question? Dang, I just had it. Okay. Here we go.
Mhm.
Go ahead and start the music, Ruby. Go ahead and play it. Who was the first president to be impeached? And you can get a bonus 5 points if you can name the year.
Nixon, 1974.
Leonard, shush.
Wait, this is 1800. It cannot be.
After the music. Repeat the question. Who was the first president to be impeached? And a bonus 5 points for what year? Panel.
I don't know.
I was gonna say
I-
Nixon.
I need a lifeline.
Who are you going to say, Bo?
Nixon.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I don't. I'm just
I
gonna
didn't
guess Andrew Jackson. I don't know this one. I'm just gonna guess.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Okay, I
Yeah,
do not.
we don't know. We don't know.
Okay, so
It
the
wasn't
panel-
Andrew Jackson chat because I see Andrew Johnson. No, well, Jane has
Jackson,
gotten stuff right
Nixon,
before.
1974, 1867, Bill Clinton.
So Hardy.
So nobody on the panel is getting any
Yeah.
points for
Dang.
question 5. The
Howard
answer
Taft.
is Andrew Johnson in
Johnson.
1868.
So well, Jane got it.
Yeah,
Jane got it.
Jane got it.
And Fighter got it.
1867, 1868. Whoever
Yeah,
said
remember
that.
this is 1800s, guys. So it cannot be. That's a
Couldn't be Nixon.
yeah. It couldn't be anybody else other
right.
outside of that.
All righty, sir. No points awarded for that question.
I trust Jane as my lifeline. I'm gonna call on her for my next lifeline.
All righty. Play the music.
Yep.
What country gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States?
That's too easy. That's too easy, Jimmy.
Well, you gotta throw an easy one in because y'all missed the last one.
That's for that. I'm thankful that I now know something.
Well, I wouldn't get that because I don't know much about New York.
That's fair. That's fair because they really did drill in New York stuff to us.
France.
It was France.
Yeah,
Yep.
France.
So me and Dave.
Dave got it.
Bo.
He was the first one to say it.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
You were talking. You didn't give the answer.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Just because he was the first one, I mean, we could all count our points to our own scorecard.
I'm honestly fine with that because I mean it's like
Yeah.
like you said the honor system. Well, Jimmy said the honor system, and Ruby sounds confident enough that I believe that knew the answer.
Yeah, Ruby knew it. Ruby knew it.
So yeah, you can give her 10 points. That's fine with that. I'm fine.
And the chat knew it too. Good job, chat.
Yeah.
All right, so let's knock that down. Let me recalculate the scores because I was about ready to give you all 10 points, but we're not doing that.
You stingy with the points, man.
All right, so the score looks Diamond Dave. We got 3 questions left. Diamond Dave is at 25. Ruby is at 23. And Bo is at 15.
But did you get France too? Did you know that?
Yeah. So 5, 10,
10
15,
points.
20. I should be at 25 points.
Okay,
5 points
for Bo.
per thing, right?
Oh, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that for 10 points for everybody.
Yes, everybody needs their fair share.
Okay.
Wait, I thought each question was worth 5 points.
No, each question was 10.
Oh, so 10, 20.
Yes,
20,
I'm super competitive.
40,
that's the
50.
problem.
I'm at 50
I
points.
can't play
then.
games.
All right. Well, Ruby, this kind of backfired in your regard because by giving everybody 10 points, because I was only giving you 10 points for that, that means now Diamond Dave is up to 35. Bo is at 25 and Ruby is at 23.
As long as you got the answer right, you are entitled to 10 points. Okay, we'll say.
All right, next question.
The
Question number
entitlement.
8.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Okay. Which amendment formally abolished slavery in the United States?
Oh, that's a good question, and I think I know what it is.
Now remember, when the music is over, the panel immediately says their answer. What amendment formally abolished slavery in the United States?
I'm gonna get this wrong.
I'm
Panel?
gonna say
Fourth
14.
Amendment.
I'm gonna say 12.
I'm gonna say 14. I hope I'm right. What
Bo
is it?
or Leonard, do you have a guess?
I said the 4th, but I don't know.
Okay.
We went over the 4th Amendment like 2 weeks ago. We went.
I
over
know
the
that's why
4th
it's in my
Amendment.
head, and I'm like, yeah, I hear 4th in my head.
All right. So nobody on the panel got the answer correct.
Dang it!
I will say the correct answer is in the chat.
Oh, it's
The
gotta be
14th.
Lily. She said the
3
fifth.
points for the person that says the right
Right
answer on the
now.
panel.
No, not the
I'm
fifth.
looking at chat. 3
Who,
points.
Who? Oh, Jay said he cheated, and it was the.
Yeah, he's the
He
13th.
said I
You don't get
cheated.
the points. You don't get it.
All right, so nobody gets points for this one. All right, so the answer is, and let's see, the first person to get it was Jane Spitfire, and at
Jane.
13th Amendment.
Dang it! I should have went to Jane first.
We should have cheated and Googled.
No cheating, no cheating.
All right.
But everyone kind of thought it was the 14th, just like me. So.
If you
All
put
right.
a 1 in front of mine, I would have been right.
All right.
Well, I mean,
next question.
Ruby was one above, and I was one below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As above, so below.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Next question. In what year was the Emancipation Proclamation issued?
Oh, come on.
5 points extra if you can name the president that did it.
Then I'm just getting 5 points. I already know that now. 'Cause I do not remember dates, times, or names.
In what year was the Emancipation Proclamation issued? Panel, wait for it. Go.
1865, Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham
Did-
Lincoln.
I don't know
But
the
I don't
date, but
know
I
the
would said
year.
Lincoln.
I was gonna say 1776.
No,
Okay.
this is 1800s. So it has to be in the 1800s. And we do know that Abraham Lincoln was the president. He's the one who, did all that. But I don't remember the year. Like, what? I'm never going to remember
Was
Never
the question
you
two
say
parts, or
that.
was it just one?
I'm 100.
Well, I was giving 10 points for what year was the Emancipation Proclamation issued,
Mhm.
and giving 5 points if you can do the year. So
Or give me the 5 points for the president, 10 points for the year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
No,
Vice versa. Vice
Yeah.
versa.
So
Okay.
Dave, you said Lincoln, and you did a year.
I said
1865.
Lincoln. And I
Okay,
had
so
no
you were wrong on the year. So you
Okay.
still get a 10 for the original question. Bo, what did
Can
you
I
say?
can I do a lifeline?
Lincoln, but I had no date.
You had no date, but you did say Lincoln.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Okay.
said
so
Lincoln.
we each get 5 points.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So 5
Okay.
points for everybody.
Yeah, so 5 points for everybody. Okay. The year was 1863.
Oh my god.
Okay. So,
So
Deb
in
got that in the chat.
Not gonna get me to
1863
figure that out.
Lincoln.
I
Very
was 2
good.
years off.
Deb got it in
Peter
the
Don
chat.
said, "Take your 3 points and stick it."
Well, now it's 5. So
All right, last question.
Thank you, GG. That's what I was thinking of.
Which two leaders commanded opposing forces at the Battle of Little Bighorn? Which two leaders commanded opposing forces at the Battle of Little Bighorn? Panel?
Sitting Bull and General Sherman.
General Lee.
I have
All
no
right.
clue. Sorry. I need a lifeline
I'm
again.
just throwing it out.
I threw out General Lee. I don't know.
Is
So,
my guess correct?
Let's see if anybody's got it in here. I see Custer and Geronimo. I see Sherman and Gant. Grant was not involved in any of this. Grant was not involved in any of this. Let's see here. Sherman and Gant.
Babylon 5 captain's name.
No clue, man. No clue.
All right. So the answer is Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull led the Lakota Sioux, and Cheyenne warriors against Lieutenant Colonel George Custer.
Do I got one of the 3. How many points do I get for that one?
I'm not awarding any points on this one.
Okay, yeah. That's
All right.
fair. That's fair. 1 out of 3.
Let's see who got it in the chat. I seen Custard. I see there's a Custard and Sitting Bull.
Yeah, that's like half points.
King of
Especially
Dot said Crazy Horse and Old Blondie, which Custer was blonde, but Custer. So I would have to give it to, looks like Empath Lady.
Yep. So she could write her points down. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we should have ever gotten
All right. So after 10 points of tonight's UPC trivia, or 10 questions for the UPC trivia battle, in third place comes in Ruby with 28. In second place comes in Bo with 30.
Yeah.
And Dave takes it with 40 points this evening.
Yeah.
Sweet.
How did we do in the chat? What was your point?
Very good, guys. Let me know in the chat how many points you guys got. Hopefully you kept score. But a couple of people did get things right. Like Jane was on fire.
Oh, Jane was on fire.
Yeah, she was really on.
I think Jane beat me because she knew stuff I didn't.
I think
to
Jane won the chat tonight. I really do. I mean, if I had to look back, she did pretty good.
Yeah, so
All right.
Jane takes the trophy for chat winner. Winner of the chat. Yeah, winner of the chat.
All righty. So Ruby, do you want to play? I guess we could call this kind of news. Do you want to play our? No, let's not do the news one because it's not technically. Anyway, we're gonna move to the next segment. Okay.
Yes.
There's no real good segue here, but we're gonna get into the meat of the program this evening, and we all saw, and I'm gonna let everybody give their opinion first before we dive into the material. But we all saw the UFC event 250 in Washington this past weekend. I will say personally, this is my whole thing with it. at first, when it was announced last year, I was like, what in the world? Why are we doing a fight at the White House? Really didn't think too much of it. Okay. But I was like, whatever. So as it drew closer and everything, I was like, you know what? I'm going to check this out. Now, personally, I don't watch UFC. I've never watched UFC fights at all. Just, it doesn't interest me. I don't care. But something told me to watch this one. And I did. I watched the whole thing. I started at like 8 o'clock. I was up till like 1:30 in the morning. That's how long this thing was.
Wow.
It was really, really long. But
Was it good?
that's what I was getting ready to say. What I will say though is this event was the most patriotic thing I have seen in decades. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the videos that they played in between the matches. One of the videos, the opening video we did tonight, came from the UFC event 250. There's some other videos. There's one about Ronald Reagan that they did with Ronald Reagan. Really good. Lots of fireworks, great lighting, good atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. And one thing was I was wondering too, why in the world were people so against this? Well, one, it's Trump. So there's that,
Yeah, that's just
and then other people were saying, okay, well, this is just tacky and this. I'm gonna get into that in a second too. So there was a lot of pushback, and a lot of that pushback came from the media and it came from influencers. So on both sides. Okay. So why in the world would these people have such a bad negative light about this thing? Why would they want to stop it? Why? Oh, and then today, and we'll talk about this more later on, maybe not tonight because I got to do some research, but the FBI reported today that they thwarted a plot to attack the people at the 250 event. So but anyway, what was y'all's initial thoughts when y'all heard about this coming to be? What do y'all think?
I actually heard about this, and like for me, I was like, on the one hand, it's kind of cool. On the other hand, I'm like very deeply concerned because this is something that the Roman Empire did like shortly before it collapsed, right? Rod brought up the bread and circus thing, right? You have Roman emperors like Commodus and Nero, and it's so yeah. There's I would say there's a bit of a concern that America took a lot of like Roman ideology in its founding and its architecture. America's the only other country in history to put its hand over its heart like ancient Rome did, right? And so I thought having a literal arena next to a seat of power is a little interesting.
Right.
Let me
A lot of symbolism. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay, so I don't have that perspective. What I felt they're doing. So first off, we know that people in the audience were almost all military. Like that was how it was set up.
Yep.
So what I were showing, in my opinion, is they are trying to counter the woke environment, the anti-masculinity, the testosterone. They're showing that it is okay, because that's the new campaign slogan. It's okay to be a male, because that's the anti-slogan that you're getting from all media, all modern movies. Everything is anti-male, anti-male, anti-testosterone, anti-testosterone. Anything that actually increases testosterone levels, they say is bad for you. Red meat, tobacco, anything that is positive for males and makes males more man-like, they're against. So this was Trump's way of saying, we're done with the queer faggot stuff. And I really mean that. Because the Biden administration, everything was queers, everything's fags, everything's transgender. And he said, we're done with that. We're going back to boys and girls, and it's okay to be who you are and what you were born to be.
That's a great one.
Well, yeah, that also fits, and that's why kind of why I thought it was cool too. Because if you remember Biden, like I shouldn't say if you remember, we all remember when Biden had that transgender there.
We'll never forget. We will never forget.
Yeah. So I think it's like slamming down on that, like Bo said, as well as like, nope, this is like, if we're gonna do anything here, we're gonna do this and not that, right?
Exactly. Polar opposite. Leonard, did you watch it? Did you watch the USC fight?
Not really, because I really couldn't get into it really, and
That's okay.
furthermore, I just want to comment on what Booth said about the whole transgender thing about it. I remember growing up when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, the terms for a homosexual at that time was punk, sissy, faggot, And I remember there was a neighbor of mine. He was. I better watch what I say.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm gonna just leave it right there. But I had a neighbor who was a certain.
Yep.
He was just a certain. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in today's time, 20, 30 years later, you can't use those types of terms because you are subject to get sued and whatever else.
Good point, Leonard. I like how Leonard is probably got the best manners on the board.
He does.
Throw it out there.
He really does.
Like Leonard always goes out of his way not to be offensive. And it's something I don't have the ability to do, and I'm just gonna say
he's very intentional, and I love that because I'm.
Yeah, I respect that, Leonard. Yeah, but you're very articulate when it comes to people's feelings.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree.
So I didn't watch the fight. I am going to though. So this is really great if we discuss this, because then after knowing what you know, Jimmy, and you share it with us, then when I go to watch it, it'll just be more prevalent because we spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I didn't watch it yet. But I love the idea that Trump did something like this. It is so alpha. It's so like based. It's so like my type of gen, like my gen celebration, right? Like that's something that we would do, and we're young. And he's 80 years old, and he's doing something as cool as this. So I kind of feel like he's young again when he decided to do this.
Well, if you think about this too, I mean, you look at all these deep state players, your Obamas, your George Bushes. Whenever they had their fancy parties and everything, it was for them. It was for
we never saw it. We weren't invited.
We weren't. And with this being the people's house, the majority of the country, they like motocross. They like MMA, boxing, and fighting. They like that stuff. Okay, so they like that stuff. They like the music. Oh, and I'll say this: the Marine band that played for the whole thing, because there was no, to my knowledge, I don't think there was any recorded music. It was all done by the Marine band.
Wow!
And those people, there was a girl on there that sung her ass off. And they had a Hispanic sing. I mean, it was really, really good. All right, so this is Trump showing the people, hey, this is for you. This is for you, the people. Now, that's very important that you pay attention to that point with what I bring out here in a little bit, because it's very important. And what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, when we get into the longer video, it's just a different perspective to view this at. Okay. I like putting out different perspectives. Bo mentioned the whole masculine thing. Yeah, that can tie into this, but there's a little bit more. So the other question I have for you guys, was this the first time ever that there were fights being held at the White House?
No.
Yes.
I don't believe so. And I could be wrong, but if memory serves, I believe it was in the 1920s, early, like early 30s, like the era of pugilism, like boxing, bare knuckle boxing. If I remember correctly, that did take place outside of the White House at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me share the first little clip I wanted to share with you guys. Let me find it. I think this is it right here. Yes. Yes, share the screen. Little bit of history news that you may not have heard. All right. So let me see. Are we sharing screen, Ruby?
Yep.
Has championed the effort of making mixed martial arts the legitimized sport it is today, long before he was known as a politician. But of course, presidents before him, no strangers to the art of combat, including notably our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt.
When we think about events at the White House, we picture formal meetings and fancy dinners, not fighting. But the landmark event we're witnessing tonight is not entirely without precedent. At the dawn of the 20th century, America's commander-in-chief, Theodore Roosevelt, brought fight sports to the White House. He often invited boxers, wrestlers, and martial artists, but not for entertainment or exhibition. They were summoned here to spar with the president.
What?
Roosevelt said, "A nation that cannot fight is not worth its salt." So he trained like a fighter throughout his presidency, leading by example, living what he called the strenuous life. Not everyone likes the idea of fights at the White House. But as Teddy Roosevelt famously said, it is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
Trump.
I had to Google the years, so I was off by like a good 20 years of when he was.
Yeah, you were close. You were close. So to back that up a little bit, and then we'll talk about it. So yes, President Theodore Roosevelt regularly held full contact boxing matches inside the White House. Driven by his philosophy of living a strenuous life, Roosevelt transformed the executive mansion into a makeshift training ground. Rather than just watching as a spectator, he actively stepped into the ring to spar. The location, Roosevelt set up training spaces around the mansion, lining the basement with mats and frequently boxing in the attic or the White House gymnasium. His opponents were regularly challenged military aides, young officers, visiting dignitaries, and even professional championship boxers. Roosevelt strictly forbade his sparring partners from pulling their punches out of respect for his office. He insisted on authentic, highly competitive, and often bloody full contact bouts. During his second term in 1904, Roosevelt's boxing hobby came to an abrupt end during a fierce match with an artillery captain named Daniel T. Moore. Moore landed a heavy right-handed cross counter to the left side of the president's face, shattering blood vessels and permanently detaching Roosevelt's retina. Demonstrating his legendary sportsmanship, Roosevelt kept the resulting blindness in his left eye a total secret for over a decade. He did not want to embarrass Captain Moore or make him feel responsible for the injury. Thoughts?
Man. Yeah. That's a real man right there. That's what I'm saying.
He's crazy.
Like Roosevelt, he's going to my top tier list favorite right now just because of that.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
he is on that. King of Dot said, he is on Mount Rushmore. So,
well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like American presidents are known, as Roosevelt said, for like daring greatness, right? So his was like the boxing and things like that. But if you look at American history, throughout history, they've all, like many, especially in the founding eras, did like great things. For instance, you look at like the founding fathers, George Washington, he was 21 to 23 when he fought the British and then became president, approximately. I might be off by a few years, but he was in his early 20s when he went up against the world's most powerful military.
Right.
And then became president after. And then you have I don't remember if it's Andrew Jackson. It might be Andrew Jackson, but there was a president who declared war on the Ottomans with the Barbary slave trade.
That was Jefferson.
Jefferson. Okay. I don't remember names, but yeah. So like there was Jefferson who saw an issue, and rather than just be like, oh, well, we're just going to be isolationist, like he actively declared war, right? So on a foreign country, and which led to the construction of the U.S. Marines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Marines came way before that event happened.
They did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think Trump is using this as symbolism to his?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Okay. Yeah. That's where I was gonna go. I'm kind of thinking Trump is making comparisons to himself, and then to Teddy Roosevelt.
I wouldn't say it's a comparison to himself. It's not an ego thing. This was a very symbolic thing. And the reason I wanted to say the thing about Roosevelt was because it was a precedent already set. You had too many people out here on social media and the news saying, oh, this is just tacky. This shouldn't be done at the White House. This is a disgrace. This is blah, blah, blah. Well,
I heard the exact same thing. I didn't even know this took place because I heard literally just before I came here, I saw something saying that we have never had anything like this at the White House. This is unprecedented. This is the first time ever. And I was like, well, it's kind of cool in my opinion, but
it is.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of cool.
And then find out that as usual, they're just full shit.
Yep. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, is to show that these people that were out saying this stuff, they don't know their history. And even if they did know their history, they don't want you to know the history. So there was a precedent set for what happened. However, it goes much, much deeper. Before we get into that, Leonard, did you have a comment on the Theodore Roosevelt situation?
From what it sounds like to me, President Roosevelt and among other presidents, he kept a lot of dirt going on in the White House, but I just can't put that all on him, evidently. And my thing is with President Roosevelt, with his fireside chats, I can't bring that into play because that may not have anything to do with it, but oh boy.
You want
I'm
to
gonna just leave it right there.
Okay, thank you, Leonard. Okay. All right. So now my highlight for the evening for you guys is this next video, because you guys have heard me talk about the Act of 1871. You have heard me talk about and Bo talk about Britain and maritime law, admiralty law, and how we should be at the law of the land and not on that. You've heard us talk about, we were taking off our original constitution. And the deep state, the reason why the title is the way it is tonight is because what happened this weekend was Trump and the Patriots taking a play out of the deep state playbook and turning it totally against them. Now, before we play the video, I don't care if you think this is conspiracy or not. I don't give a damn. Okay. I really don't. But why I'm sharing it is for a perspective, because there's other folks that see this stuff and have dug into this, and this just makes sense to us. If you haven't been researching, you've been living under a rock and not doing anything, this is probably going to be way over your head. I'm just going to be just straight with you. It might be. But we're going to play it. It's going to be about 18 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go out, smoke a cigarette while we play it. I'll be in the live chat. Everybody can go get a snack or whatever. And then we'll come back and talk about it. So with that said, let me go.
So this is just an interpretation. Or is it safe to say that?
This is
it a theory? Because I mean, not all theories are like bad.
Let's just say, well, you know what? Let the video speak for itself, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let the video speak for itself. And then you can decide if okay, so Me personally, I take it pretty seriously. So,
But would you say that it's just an interpretation of events rather than hardcore fact?
I would say it's a very strong theory, if you want to call it that.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
All right.
All right. And put the speed at like 1.25.
If I
or
can.
1.5.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that on X. I can do that on YouTube.
Yeah, you can do it on X too. Okay, hit the setting right there, the little wheel.
Now let's talk about
And then
UFC
playback
Freedom
speed,
250.
and then put
It's a major
1,
event
2.5.
taking place on the White House South Lawn.
And then
At
put
first
full
glance,
screen.
a cage fight at the White House may seem like an odd addition to America's 250th anniversary celebrations. But in reality, it is a profound public ceremony that provides the legal mechanism for the full implementation of the new American order, the restoration of national sovereignty under the law of the land and God's jurisdiction. And before I continue, this piece was a public domain on another source that was sent to me, that's circulating out there. I'm going to go through this and just as some interesting talking points to get us to look at things from different perspectives, and then, of course, have our esteemed panel weigh in on this. Let me continue. To lawfully complete the shift under the law of land, the sovereigns of that land, the American people, must give their explicit consent. That is the purpose of UFC Freedom 250. Far more than a sporting event, it serves as the public ceremony required under Admiralty law rules, the people's visible endorsement of the transition into America's new order. The one-year process of restoring American sovereignty. The following shows the steps that have already been taken in the dismantling of Admiralty law. America recapturing its flag, June 14th, 2025. Flag Day celebrates the adoption of the American flag on June 14, 1777. It's the true symbol of land jurisdiction and national sovereignty. It was on this day in 2025 that America initiated the legal process of removing itself from British Admiralty jurisdiction in order to restore its sovereignty and the law of the land. America asked to return to God, April 18, 2026. President Trump reads 2 Chronicles 7:11, 7:12 to the nation as an appeal to return to God in recognition of the original covenant of 1776, the Declaration of Independence that places the nation under God's jurisdiction. Pardon me, folks. Royal visit as a witness, as you recall recently, April 27th through April 30th this year, as the living trustee of the Admiralty-based system. The King and Queen serve as legally recognized eyewitnesses. Their presence functions as formal acknowledgement of America completing the required legal steps for sovereign independence. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Chairman steps down May 15th, 2026. The Federal Reserve has played a central role in upholding the British Admiralty maritime law-based commercial system that powers the debt-based economy. By stepping down, it signals the shift back to American jurisdiction. The National Prayer of Dedication, May 17, 2026. This comes one full moon, a complete cycle, after the appeal to the nation to turn back to God. The National Jubilee of Prayer is the public act of redirecting America back to God, 2 Chronicles 7:14. It marks the withdrawal of consent from the 1871 commercial system that quietly gave jurisdiction back to the British maritime system and the restoration of the 1776 covenant. New Fed chairman sworn in again May 25th, Kevin Walsh, sworn in under the law of the land, which was clearly signaled by the absence of the gold-fringed flag indicating Admiralty jurisdiction, and Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas administering that oath. Using the old system to end the old system. The transition touches every area of life, spiritual, legal, and economic. At its core is the replacement of the foreign-controlled Admiralty law-based legal and financial system that has long dominated this nation. The legal process that began on Flag Day, June 14, 2025, is now nearing completion. By dismantling this structure, America removes the foundation that protected corruption, debt slavery, and treasonous actors loyal to that system. Resistance from those who benefited from the arrangement is inevitable. The transition will involve a turbulent battle against a deeply entrenched system, the storm that will precede the people's new order. Though intense, this period will be swift and necessary to remove the remaining barriers to national sovereignty. While the national prayer of dedication was an essential step in establishing who the nation would place itself under, it was not the final legal trigger for America's new order. Under British Admiralty law, a shift of this magnitude still requires a visible public ritual that demonstrates the people's consent through participation and celebration. One of the oldest tools of the Admiralty system is now being used to secure that approval. Ordo ab Chao, UFC Freedom 250 provides exactly that public spectacle, a high visibility event on the White House lawn that fulfills the ritual requirement and completes the transition to the new American order. Ordo ab Chao is the hidden motto of high-level Freemasonry. For those placed in positions of power under their god, Satan, whom they believe to be the true savior and illuminator, it is the blueprint for controlled transformation. Create chaos first, then offer a new order as the solution. This, of course, is Hegelian dialectic, classic problem-reaction-solution. Their system is designed to engineer or exploit disruption through wars, financial crashes, moral collapses, social division, and fear. Once the people are terrified, confused, and desperate, the controllers step forward with their pre-planned, quote, solution. Their new systems of governance, their rules, their gods. However, because humans were created as powerful sovereigns of the physical realm, these systems cannot be lawfully imposed without the acquiescence of the governed. Their operating philosophy is simple. Keep the masses ignorant, entertained, and emotionally invested in the spectacle, and they will unknowingly consent to the changes that follow. To obtain that permission, they stage public spectacles of visible, controlled chaos. When people cheer, participate, and become emotionally invested, their maritime law treats that participation as consent. According to their legal doctrine, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well, once that consent is obtained, they can roll out the changes that follow. UFC Freedom 250 is using this very same tool, but this time against the enemy. The spectacle on the White House South Lawn is not directed against the American people. Instead, it is aimed at dismantling the British Admiralty system that has long exercised jurisdiction over America. Through public participation, the event secures visible support for the lawful transition to the new American order under the law of the land. Instead of using their tool to further bind the American people to their system, it is being used to bring that system to an end. The symbolism of UFC Freedom 250 is the dramatic event that creates a major spectacle. It is classic staged Ordo ab Chaos, a highly visible event placed on the White House South Lawn, the center of American power. The two main events, main event lightweight title, Leah Topuria, undefeated foreign champion, versus Justin Gaethje, however you'd like to pronounce the gentleman's name, the American interim champion. Co-main heavyweight interim title, Alex Pereira, Brazilian, versus Cyril Gain, French, two foreign fighters. While the heavyweight division represents the foreign established powers battling for control, the lightweight division represents the common people. An American fighter in the main event on sovereign land symbolizes the American people entering the final stage of the conflict on their own ground. The octagon cage, where the fights take place, sits on the South Lawn, sovereign American land, not corporate territory. This is the same ground where the king and queen stood as legal witness only weeks earlier. A fight inside the cage becomes the perfect public ritual, visible, emotional chaos that the crowd can cheer for. In this symbolic battle, the American crowd's loud support for the fighters goes far beyond enthusiasm. By pouring their energy into the American fighter on sovereign American soil, the people, whether aware or not, are symbolically choosing the new land-based American order over the foreign maritime system. Their cheers act as acquiescence, the people's approval of the transition and acceptance of the storm that accompanies it. The consent makes the shift out of the old system lawful. The remaining events related to America's restored sovereignty, several key events still remain in the process of restoring American sovereignty and completing the transition to the law of the land. The UFC Freedom 250 on Flag Day, June 14, 2026, exactly 1 year after June 14, 2025, when the legal process of removing Admiralty maritime law and restoring the law of the land began publicly, the American people will deliver their loud consent through Ordo ab Chao and sovereign land, on sovereign land. This allows for the transition that introduces the new system for we the people. G7. The G7 meeting, June 15th to June 17th, 2026. Immediately afterward, President Trump will present the American people's newly accepted new order, including the storm that follows to the G7 leaders. These leaders represent the main powers of that old system. In their legal and ritual rulebook, a major international system cannot be dissolved in private. President Trump's presence delivers formal, in-person notice that America is exiting the old Admiralty system and activating the new land-based system. This forces their acknowledgement and prevents any future legal or ritual challenge. Trump's rally to end all rallies, June 24th, 2026. This serves as a victory lap that publicly celebrates the people's consent after formal notice has been given. Military bands will emphasize land-based authority, reinforcing the shift from maritime law to the land power. The performance of Nessun Dorma, None Shall Sleep, the famous dramatic aria from the Sum of All Fears film, was played during the mass execution of traitors and deep state figures. With the people's permission now granted for the necessary storm, the old system's protectors shall sleep no more, as justice proceeds and their protections are finally removed. The Great American State Fair, June 25th, 2026 to July 10th, 2026. This is a massive, joyous celebration, stretching from the Capitol of the Washington Monument to exhibits, pavilions, performances, and family events. The nation will publicly rejoice in the people's consent to end the old system, restore the law of the land, and return the nation to God's jurisdiction, the beginning of America's golden age. Independence Day, 250th anniversary, July 4th, 2026. July 4th, 1776, marked America's public declaration of independence from British rule and its placement under God's jurisdiction on the land. That independence was later quietly reversed through the 1871 Municipal Corporation of D.C., placing the nation back under British Admiralty law. On the 250th anniversary, America completes the lawful process of reversing that quiet reversal. This is not merely a celebration. It marks the symbolic and legal completion of the return to the original 1776 covenant and the full restoration of the law of the land under God's jurisdiction. The storm. The public ceremony is only the beginning. What follows is the storm, and the president has been posting in memes notices about storm. Some may question how it can be right to move forward without the people's full knowledge of these events. Why not simply tell everyone the truth? Americans already know what they need to know. They understand that the system is broken and corruption is rampant. What they don't understand is that their permission must still be obtained through the rituals of the very Admiralty law system most are unaware even exists. Rather than trying to educate the entire nation on that hidden system, which many would dismiss as conspiracy theory or outright impossible, the president is using the enemy's own rules against it for the benefit of we the people he has been elected to serve, and serving he is. The storm begins when the existing system starts losing its legal and economic control. Yet the storm is more than their resistance. It is the process by which the new system displaces the old one. Those who built their wealth, influence, and power within the existing structure will suddenly find that the protections they relied upon are no longer there. The exit ramps are closed. Corruption will be exposed. Long-protected bad actors will face accountability, which is what the American people are demanding. And the legal, financial, and institutional foundations of the old system will be dismantled and replaced with the new American order. This is the true meaning of ordo ab chaos. The difference is that it's not being used to enslave the people. It's being used to dismantle the very structure that enslaved them. UFC Freedom 250 is therefore more than a mere sporting event. It serves as a symbolic movement and moment when the people give their approval to the transition and to the storm that accompanies it. Though intense, the storm will be swift, as the enemy's moves have already been anticipated in order to minimize its effects. This is not only for the benefit of the American people and economy, but for the world as a whole, all of humanity, as the consequences of such a transition will be felt far beyond America's borders. What follows is the dawning of a new era. America will begin healing under the law of the land, restored to its rightful place under God's jurisdiction. Other nations will soon follow. This, my friends, is order out of chaos, but for a free people under God.
Oh, please let me say something.
Yeah, I've got things to say. Bo, go first.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
So first off,
Discussion.
I've told
Oh,
you guys
sorry.
about the occult, and I've shown you guys how they do rituals, right?
Right.
This is just another example of that. And this is what we've been talking about them systematically removing the money system from deep state, which is actually the British, right? So I sent some things to you earlier today, Ruby. One of the things it said the Guardian, and it talked about in 2015. We know for a fact that MI6 was behind the Russia hoax. They were the
Right.
originators that created it. So this is punishment by Trump and payback for doing that. On top of that, that system, so the British system, the imperial system we're under, part of the British imperial system is to destroy companies and destroy nations and to lower their ability to sustain themselves by themselves. That's the number one part of the model. So if you look at yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Now, if you go to that other screenshot, the one that says FY207, it says 1.5 trillion on it, if you don't mind. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is what everything that Trump is doing. He is bringing industry back to the United States because you've got to remember in World War II, we were the economic powerhouse. I know you guys don't want to go too long about this, but if you know anything about World War II, we are the reason that the Germans lost. I don't care what people think or they say, but if you know the technology, you know tanks, you know planes, you know stuff like that, like I do, you know for a fact that the United States industry is what made them win.
Yes.
They've been systematically destroying us. And that's why when Biden went into power, we saw more companies go under Biden's administration. Major companies, major American companies went under. That was all by design because that was the way they wanted to weaken us from within. Trump, everything you see here is what Trump has done. And these are all jobs based on industry. So we're building things again and we're bringing ourselves back to when we were right after World War II. That's what the imperial system is. That's what we're removing. And we're going back, and it's referred to as the American system. So the American system was the man goes to work, he makes an income where he can survive to pay for his family. The wife stays at home and takes care of the children. We've lost that system and we become part of the enslavement system that the British use. And that's what we're in right now. And that's what Trump's bringing back. And that's why they are absolutely freaking out. And that's why every single assassination attempt is linked to FBI and CIA because they also work with the administration. Now, Newsom is also guys. I'm just going to throw this real quick. So Newsom is under investigation, and Gavin Newsom's former chief of state took a plea deal, and nobody knows what the plea deal is now. So Newsom is deeply involved in the occult. And they're going after these people, and the justice system in California is so corrupt. He's doing all this and everything that has to do with what's his name, the guy who was running that they
Pratt.
stole the election from. Yeah,
Pratt.
that had nothing to do with him actually running. It had to do with them showing the actual fraud that's in California, because California is the head of corruption when it comes to trafficking and deep state in Hollywood and stuff. And so that's what he's showing you is he's literally going after Newsom because he's one of the top guys.
Yeah, Bo, thank you for that insight on there. And this is one thing I want to add to this too. I know that there's a lot of other stuff going on in the world. Israel, Gaza. I've seen it in the chat. Everybody's trying to say that I'm ignoring stuff. I'm not doing that. What I'm trying to show you is stuff the media isn't going to tell you. They'll tell you about all that other stuff because they want to have you talking about that stuff and not what we're talking about this evening. What we're talking about this evening is huge because this changes everything in the way the American system is governed, which will be by the people, not by British, not by these other people. All this other stuff, Yes, it's important, but they are distractions right now. Why do you think? Let's think for a second. Why do you think so many people were trying to shut this thing down? You know, you even had the Weather Channel come out and say that there was going to be lightning strikes and thunderstorms and mosquitoes were going to be out and about. They were trying to scare the people. And then you come to find out that the FBI thwarted an attack against this event where they were going to send in drones to basically scare. I don't know if they're going to shoot people. I gotta look into this. But what I'm hearing is the drones were going to come in, scare the people, and the people would run away and run into sniper fire.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, and I mean, to Jimmy's point, right, on like the distractions, if you look at things from an American first perspective, Israel and Gaza doesn't matter because the Middle East has been a shit show for the past 2,000 years. It will be a shit show. We're gonna raise our families and we're gonna die. And guess what? Israel and the Middle East are still gonna be fighting, guys. Right? So it doesn't like matter in the long run.
But to her credit, Dehydrated Nurse recently woke up to the Jewish element, and I'm with her on it. But
I'm not trying to push against that.
But do you see, everybody's in a different stage in their journey. I was there, but like a year ago, so I couldn't empathize with her.
Yeah,
But
that's why I'm trying to be
like
gentle with people.
Yeah,
here.
so she
it's
kind of
like it's good to wake up to these things, and it's good to see what's going on and notice. I'll use that term, notice certain elements, and I'll leave it at that. Right? There's nothing wrong with that, but like what Trump is doing, and I can even see it here in Asia, is Trump is saying we're just going to do America is going to be America again, and it doesn't matter what anybody else is going to do. Right, because America's going to do what America's going to do.
Exactly.
Now, I have two points that the guy in the video made. I do kind of want to push back on. One of them is so bringing back production is a good thing, right? Nobody's disputing that. I agree. We agree. Everyone's nodding there.
It's independent energy, like we can make our own weapons. We're not dependent on other resources that can be cut from us. That's what it is.
Right. But you look at the charts, it's not just weapons. It's like industry, it's cars, it's metal, it's steel, right? And that's all well and good, but this goes in, these 2 points kind of go hand in hand, right? So he mentioned the industry, but he also mentioned that America will turn to God and the world will follow. I don't think that's the case, because if you look at things from a religious angle or even just how things are now, people in America, generally speaking, obviously there are exceptions, but there's a hyper consumerist element, and there's like a selfish, like, I want this and I want it now, spend money. I want to save money. I don't care if it's made in America. I want it now and I want it cheap. Right. So with that mentality there's still going to be a foreign element because people are just going to naturally do that. And with what he said with, the world turning back to God, well, from a religious angle, the world never really was big on the Christian God in the first place. So the world isn't going to do what America is going to do, especially when, like with Bo's talking about the deep state and the occult, right? People here in Asia aren't just going to be magically like, wow, America's Christian, we're going to be Christian too. No, we're not doing that. That's kind of like my only critiques of
but those British imperial systems like Canada and Australia, which I don't know if you guys know that, but both those countries are under the British system. Their militaries are controlled by the British system. Okay.
Yeah.
That is what the goal is. That's what he's referring to. Those countries that are out there that are part of the UN and everything, a lot of them are and were Christian-based countries that have become very occultic. And you can see the rituals of the occult being practiced by the leadership. And now, like, for an example, France actually has rituals to Lilith, and they have like a parade to her.
To Lilith? Yeah, I've seen those.
So
Yeah, I
That's
think,
the
and this
subpart.
book goes back to kind of the more esoteric, woo-woo, spiritual, religious argument here, where
Well,
it's
that's the
like,
Masonic side of all this. Is there's Christian
sure,
Masons, there's Satanic Masons,
but the
and they're
point is, it's
using
like the people aren't those people who are in the occult aren't going to become Christians
no, but they're
overnight
going to
and go
be
back to them.
exposed, and then they're going to lose their power because they're outnumbered severely. Like there's more Christians than there are the satanic occultists that are at the level of Epstein and the Clintons and things like that. Like we outnumbered them 10,000 to 1. It's just
In
they're
France
attracted to power
specifically.
and they're willing to do anything to hurt people and get away with stuff
Mhm.
which we don't do.
hey guys, let me interject here a second. I really
Okay.
appreciate the points you guys are bringing out. But what I want to make sure that I bring home in this is the point of this video, the point of this content. Because yes, it can go into the religious stuff you guys were talking about. It can go into many different things. The problems that we have here in America are because of the system that we've been operating under. And I think as we go into other areas of discussion, this point gets missed, and it doesn't get, people aren't looking at it. It's not sitting in their heads. We came off the constitutional system back in 1871, which allowed all this other bad crap that we've ever had to deal with, Israel war, allowed that stuff to happen. The point of this is we're coming off of that system, and we're going back to the way it's supposed to be, the American system, like Bo said, where we're not beholding to a foreign power to govern us.
Yeah, we're not British,
And
not Israel.
And so I know that there's a lot of other things going on. I get that. But this is huge because it will change the economic system in the United States. I see all y'all. I know we're all bitching about gas prices and things. It will change the economic system. It will change the monetary system in this country because we'll have more money because we won't be under that freaking British stuff anymore. We're not slaves to their system. Everybody talks about, oh, I got to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, work till 5, come home, I get 3 hours, and I got to do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Yeah.
This is the system that we're fighting against.
Right.
And some of you folks, sorry, I got to calm down, are missing that point because you get distracted with everything else that is put out on social media. This is a huge deal. And when you talk about this had to be a spectacle to get the people's consent. Okay, well, how did the deep state do that? How did they use their own law to put things in place? Think about it. They orchestrated 9/11. And then what came after 9/11? The Patriot Act. And everybody sat on their damn hands and didn't stand up because they thought, oh, well, this is a good thing that we go ahead and consent to the Patriot Act so we don't have terrorist attacks. However, terrorist attacks kept motherfucking happening.
They got worse.
And it got worse. So because the people gave them consent, they kept taking our rights away. It's every time you have a gun shooting, what's the first thing that comes out? Oh, we need to get rid of guns. We got to do this. And they've been trying to get the people's consent to do so. So with what Trump did, it was a symbolic move to get the people's consent that we no longer want to be under British Admiralty law, that we want to be under the American law of the land.
Okay. Right. That point right there. Let's circle back.
I have a comment after you, by the way.
Okay. Because I just want to kind of understand this correctly. So the theory is that when the crowd is cheering for the American player, that's the ritual in which what they're saying is like the approval is that roar, is that applause, it's that support for the American player versus the guy that he was fighting. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, you're on the right train of thought. Yes.
Okay, so who was he fighting? Because the guy couldn't pronounce names and things. So who was the fighter that the American player was fighting against? Does anybody know?
Ilya Tupula. I think, yeah, it was Justin.
So is he supposed to represent what? What is he supposed to represent?
Basically a foreign power.
Okay, now I understand.
Did you also notice that every fight ended? If I remember this right, ended with a knockout?
Yeah, every one of them did.
Yeah,
except the last one where they basically the foreign fighter gave up because he got his face beat in. He got his orbital sockets busted and everything.
Okay, so that's the ritual. Is the fight? It's the fight itself, right?
The fight.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we played the video at the very beginning about the American spirit that we've been fighting. That's why I played the video of Theodore Roosevelt, because he said, American, we need to know how to fight. We need to, and that can be taken symbolically. Okay.
It can very much. So,
can I say something real quick about that? About the spirit of fighting?
Yes.
So I'll just really quick. When we're talking about Americans, like if you go back and you look at what people thought of Americans, a lot of countries thought Americans were like insane when it came to combat, especially like in World War II, because we fought like no one else. And they thought that they made fun of us and talked crap about us. And we just got stronger and stronger and more adaptive at a rate that no one had ever seen. And Germans were telling their commanders, we've never seen a military like the Americans because we beat them, we came back, we had a hard time, and now they're beating us. And this is not the way people fight. There is something unique about Americans in a lot of countries like Japan, Germans. They say that the American spirit, the fighting spirit of America, is different than any other country.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that here too in Mongolia, because it's very much there's stark differences, but there is similarities, right? So like in Mongolia, like America, there's a really big passion for freedom, and there's a love of the land, and there's just a huge national pride, and there's actually it's so strong here that there's a saying my wife told me in China, which basically translates to, if Mongolia gets to 10 million people, China will be overrun. China will lose because of that spirit. And because that's the nature of the Mongolian spirit, right? But with America, there's a similar spirit there, but there's 330 million people, right? And that's what, and I've been to China, and there's a level of respect along the lines of like Sun Tzu and other Chinese warriors, where even though they're playing the long game, there's still a healthy respect and fear of America.
Yeah.
Because China's seen what America did in World War II. China's seen the Battle of Midway and Iwo Jima, where tens of thousands of soldiers were killed, and they still kept coming. There were minefields.
There's no special force unit that comes close to the skill of the Americans, and everyone knows it.
Well,
not even close.
Well, and here's the thing, and this is what scares people globally, and especially in Asia, and in Europe too, is if you look at World War II, whether you look at the Pacific Theater, you look at the European theater, where there were minefields, people would avoid them. Americans would just bulldoze straight through. They would take casualties. They would keep going, and they just would not care. Right? And there's something, and the Russians did not even do that. Right? I mean, again, Russia did have heavy losses, but they were tactical about it. But the way America, and how even before Truman, I forget who the president was before Truman, but you look at Eisenhower and Patton, General Patton, who fought Rommel. They did not care about losses. The other people did. They did not care about losses. They were like, no, you attacked us. You attacked Americans. You killed Americans. You killed American civilians. We will make you pay. And other countries don't operate like that.
Yeah, and to that point, showing how strong the American fight is in the military and everything. Who didn't want that? These people, the globalist New World Order, they didn't want a strong American military and a strong American sense of independence. So what did they do is they slowly started to weaken it. If we go back to the 16-year plan to destroy America, I can pull it up to where it shows weaken the military, get rid of generals. These were all things that were being done under the Biden
Take over the
administration.
school systems.
Yes.
All of that boils to what Jimmy's saying. All of that boils down to breaking down the American spirit. Because if you break down the American spirit, everything collapses. The military, the schools, Christianity. If you can break the American spirit, America is done.
Exactly. And that's why this event had to be the way it was, so that there was that strong American spirit. And that's evidence. They got more views than the Super Bowl did. It got 130 million views. The Super Bowl only got 125. And if I do remember correctly, for all those that want to, hate on Q, there was a Q post that said, make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show. So take that for what it's worth. Okay, that was out there. This event drew more eyes than the Super Bowl.
That's because Americans we love our sports. I mean, look at the Olympics, all the gold medals Americans won. And I'm going to add to what Dave said. It's not your spirit, it's the family unit. If the family unit breaks down, then society breaks down, because supposedly it was the strongest unit in the world. And we need that family unit, but it's falling apart. And hopefully it's starting to the families are starting to get better. I think more people are now having children. They stopped, but I think now more people are deciding to have families.
I saw that.
One last point.
I'm a sports fanatic, and I see that spirit. I mean, you wouldn't go to Italy and root for the Italians. When you go there, they're competing with America. You're going to root for America, right? Now, the World Cup is different. They're very patriotic for America. If you watch any of the World Cup that's going on, they're singing America. They're clapping. They're excited to be here. I mean, I think they're more excited coming here than the Americans themselves. So, the spirit is there. And I think they're boosting up the 250th year anniversary of our country.
Exactly. I feel like it's leading up to that.
Unfortunately, the state of Maine has boycotted some of their, it's always the blue states that are doing.
Of course they are.
No fireworks there. There's no fireworks in part of Massachusetts either, but other people are going to make up for it.
Exactly.
One last point I want to make on this whole viewership thing is this event was not aired on mainstream. It wasn't on Fox, NBC, CBS, on none of that. It was only on Paramount Plus.
Oh,
so that makes this even bigger.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on your mainstream. So the question is why wasn't any mainstream outlets showing this?
Because Paramount just got purchased.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. Paramount, because they 2 months before this, they announced that they're done with woke and they're leaving woke completely. The new people who bought Paramount. So I bet you the reason they were freaking out about Paramount, which I was under this impression that was because of the Star Trek stuff, it was probably because this is probably already set up then, and they knew this was going to come.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know anything about this, but now it makes sense.
So
we need to find out who bought them out.
Yeah. So my point to all of this, the last thing I'll say about this, and then we're going to move into Gail, is it's so much bigger than you possibly even know what's going on, and to be careful not to get sidetracked off of every little thing that is said on social media, because this was an amazing.
It's Skydance Media.
Yeah, I just looked that up too. It's Skydance Media, backed by tech billionaire Larry Ellison and led by his son David Ellison.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to look into those people a little bit deeper in the
future.
Anyway, I think they're transhumanists. Larry Ellison is a name familiar to me. I think he's a transhumanist.
Yikes. Okay, so everybody write that down. Google.
I'm
those
just
names.
I'm gonna Google to double check, but that's what
Yeah.
I heard. So
All right.
So
guys,
Jimmy, there's one problem that I agree with Fighter.
Okay. What's
I
that?
understand what Trump is doing, and I understand the plan, right? I mean, I agree with it. Patriotism is something I've always had, right? That's not foreign. But the problem is, I want to have that, but I can't. I struggle with it when I already know that Section 224 of this proposed bill to the defense, military, whoever you want to call it, is trying to merge our militaries together with the IDF. And
so when you say they're trying to, who are you referring to? So let me ask that question to anybody.
Yeah.
When you say they are trying to merge the who is
Congress.
Okay.
Congress.
And who's in Congress?
Our representatives, and that's the problem. There's representatives.
Hold on. Who are they beholding to? Are they beholding to the people?
No, the lobbyists, in my opinion, to AIPAC.
All right, so they're lobbying. Yeah, so their allegiance is not to America. So they're putting this stuff. They're putting this stuff out there. This isn't, and so many people are saying, "Oh, President Trump is doing this." No, this is traitors of our nation in Congress trying to do this.
Can I say something real quick to Ruby about this when you're done?
Last point. And even if they did pass it, Trump is not even going to get to his desk. It's not going to. I'm telling you right now.
Can I mark your word on that? Can I mark your word?
Mark it down. This is not going to happen.
I'm marking your word.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay. So I'm just going to throw this out here. So who supplies that country's military weapon systems? Who gives them their vehicles, their parts? Who integrates all their technology?
Who are you referring to?
Okay.
Yeah,
Israel.
Oh yeah,
So
we
if we fund their military, all their jets are from us, all their helicopters are from us, almost all, well, not their tanks, but most of their vehicles are from us. Most of their equipment is from us. Why should they not be working for us?
But they have
their own military, right?
Allies, supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah, but they're allies. But you're saying they're wanting to merge our military. That means they're going to be underneath us. That means the U.S. will be telling them what to do instead of the British. So do you want Israel to be controlled by British, or do you want the Israel military to be controlled by the United States that can say
nobody?
That's an interesting perspective. If you want to look at that, that's an interesting.
I'm sorry, Bo. I disagree.
Like, do you really think the little teeny, like their little teeny military is going to take us over? Like if we merge
it's not
together?
just their military; it's everything everything they embody. All of their intelligence, all of their the Epstein types is what we're dealing with. We shouldn't be aligning with nobody else. It is unconstitutional. No foreign nation, government, or military should ever infiltrate or have the same pensions or medals or acknowledgement as American Army men.
No, they shouldn't be telling us what to do, but we should be telling them what to do. Because
we
we supply their weapons.
We don't need a bill to say that. We don't need to merge our militaries for us to do that. That's the point. Is that they're trying to do something very treasonous, in my opinion, and give them the same perks and call it intelligence sharing, or like this would be such a great thing because we can like team up. That's the narrative, and we have to reject that as patriotic Americans.
What if we went to the Epsteins of the Israel system, right? And we are starting to see things change and arrests go into play. What if we clean house in Israel too? How would you feel then if we did go through?
If we cleaned house in Israel, Israel will not exist anymore. And they have the Samsung.
Well, Israel people would be there, but a lot of their leadership would be gone.
They would not exist because majority of their government is Zionists anyways, which is what we're trying to fight against in America. All these Zionist politicians who have dual citizenship running for office. What the heck is that? So they wouldn't exist anymore.
I mean, and it would be no different.
I'm just throwing this out as the other side. I just want you to know, Ruby, I'm not for this at all. I'm on your side. I was just playing advocate for the other side.
We like to do that around here. Let's give this about 5 more minutes and then move on to Gail.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut because if I say something, I'm gonna get labeled a Nazi here. So
they already think that of me, at least because I've heard it a million times, Dave. So
really?
it is nothing new to me.
Oh well, the artist was right all along, and I'd like to formally apologize to Germany. We were wrong. You did the right thing.
Well,
You know
and the thing is,
tweets
I mean,
I've seen.
let's go back to the one guy that Dave brought up, Patton. Patton literally said, "We fought." He says, "I do believe we fought on the wrong side of this war."
Yeah,
and then a
I
week
agree.
later, he was dead.
Yep, he got murdered.
I agree. You see what I'm saying? So we're not crazy. We're not crazy.
That same system that we're fighting today was the one Patton said, "Hey, I think we were fighting on the wrong side." And
it's the same system that killed JFK.
Exactly, and that's what we're destroying right now. That's what we're getting rid of. That was the whole spectacle for the Event 250, was to show people that this has been going on. It's gone back to June 14th of last year was when this started. It's a legal process that has to be done under the system. And you have to do this to get out of the system.
So if it's a legal process, then why are they trying to legally merge our militaries?
That's two separate things, Ruby.
But that's the desperation. To me, it's desperation because the more that they are detangling us,
there it is.
They are writing bills.
They're desperate. They're writing bills, and people are noticing it, like Ruby. And Ruby talking about it.
That's how I feel.
There you go.
So maybe that bill was put in there for people like Ruby to see it, and they're not going to go for it. They're going to refuse it, and people are going to go, "Why are we doing that?"
Exactly.
There's a reason why we're focusing on it.
That's how I feel, and I want the confidence to say that that's what's really happening, and that this bill will never pass. But the uncertainty is what kills me, because if it does pass, we're in trouble. You see what I'm saying? If Trump sees that, he needs to throw it away, right? I don't want him to sign it. That's the fear that I have, that Trump is not going to do what is necessary to do when the time.
There's no way that Trump is going to share our resources.
Going to do what needs to be done.
Leadership with a foreign power.
Well,
He's never.
Let's just say, I don't know if you've seen the interactions today. Go look today's news, but Trump isn't very happy with Bibi right now, and there's a lot of he's a lot of stuff going on. You got to open up a little.
I'm taking your word for it, but right now, answer me honestly.
Okay.
Do you think that when the time comes, Trump is going to do what needs to be done for America?
100%, absolutely.
You believe that?
100%.
Wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jimmy. Ruby, if we're wrong, then make sure we know that for every single episode.
Yeah.
Clip this, Ruby. Clip this right now.
Definitely.
And then you can start a new intro, and you could just be slapping us.
All right.
Yeah. So real quick, I just want to double back to something because I mentioned about the transhumanism aspect. I'm going to say he is because I posted it in the chat. You guys could look it up. So Larry Ellison does not call himself Larry Ellison, the person, does not call himself a transhumanist, but he is very interested in defeating death and expanding the human life with technology. And then, as I just posted, Skydance Media, his company, does explore transhumanism and post-human themes primarily through its science fiction television and its other things. So I would say, as someone who's affiliated and knows people in that, he is a transhumanist.
Yeah, which is most of them. So
are we supposed to go to Gail's thing now?
Yep. So
let's go to Gail's
thing. The next hour to Gail. Lily just joined us. Welcome, Lily. I'll let Lily have a last word. So 3 minutes or less, Lily. Go ahead, and then we're gonna go to Gail.
Did y'all say Larry Ellison?
Yes, they did.
And Larry Ellison was involved with that bill in some way?
No, he was.
the buying
They
of
bought out
Paramount.
Paramount.
Oh, Paramount. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sort of multitasking here, and I'm like, wait a minute. Larry Ellison is the guy who was conspiracy theory involved with burning down Maui. He wanted to own more of Maui, and so right now he owns 98% of Maui after the fire. And there are some good people that are boots on the ground, belong there, whom have proven that they basically stole the beachfront properties, the other properties from the original Hawaiians. And now Larry Ellis owns 98%.
Wow.
So when y'all said Larry Ellis, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Larry Ellis? That Larry Ellis? So sorry, missed that part.
Thank you for bringing that up, Lily. That is a little
Thank you, Lily.
nugget. That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
I look forward to hearing what Gail has to say tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Aren't you sweet? Thank you.
Gail,
Tear it up,
take
Gail.
Are we
Tear it
ready?
up.
Are we
Well,
ready?
hey, Ruby, you want to play a transition? You want to do the conspiracy
Yeah.
thing? Let's do
Yeah.
that.
All right. We're gonna
What
be
we
right
doing?
back with Gail.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Unrelenting Political Corner, the last half of the show this evening. We will be featuring Gail, who will be doing a continuation of the orphan train information that was brought out last week's episode.
All right. Is everybody ready?
Yeah. If you're not familiar with Gail, real quick, when did you want me to play these videos? Because I really want to go out and smoke a cigarette. I'm trying to time it to make sure I'm
After I talk about the Odd Fellows.
Dude, yes. Go
I
ahead.
kind of want to go smoke too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, so go ahead, Gail. Sorry.
You smoke too, Diamond?
I've been smoking since high school. I've been
Well, go
smoking
ahead.
cigarettes since I
Go
was
line up
15.
everybody. You can hear me while you're out smoking.
But Jimmy just smoked, bro. We just saw the video. You went outside. What's going on?
Calm down. If I could
Will you be able to listen? Will you be able to listen while you're out
I'm
smoking?
Deep
you
State
listen
says
while
it's
you're
bad
smoking?
for you, so it's probably not as bad.
All right, Gail. When do you want me to play these videos?
When I'm done with the Odd Fellows, because you're going to show everybody who some of these members are.
All right, was I going to do that first on the Odd Fellows?
Well, no, do it afterwards because I want to give a.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and start. I'm going to step out. I'll be back.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank Bo because I sent this information to Bo and he told me about this guy named Thomas Wildley. And he's the one that's the founder of the Odd Fellows. And I'm going to tell you how the Odd Fellows connect to the orphan trains. Thomas Wildley in 1782, he was actually an orphan. And then when he was 14, he moved in with his uncle. And this was in London. And in 1819, he came to America to start the Odd Fellow Society. So I wanted to know who funded all these railroad rides with the children in them, and who funded. Did the families get money for these kids? So I did a more digging, which brought me to the Odd Fellows and then I will get into the Cabbage Patch Dolls. Well, I found out that the Odd Fellow Society is an extremely very wealthy society and the oldest one in the world. And they either finance or owned all the asylums across the country. And after I speak, when Jimmy shows you the video, this is going to be good for you, Ruby, because you wanted to know who the presidents were during this period. And most of them, believe it or not, were politicians, presidents, and some actors, which really surprised me.
Mhm.
So all these asylums were built like castles. If you know of any asylums in your area, you'll see how beautiful, and they own buildings all over the world, beautiful buildings, and half of them look like castles. And it all started in the 1800s, and most of them either ended or got demolished in the early 1900s. And you can look all that up yourself, because here in Massachusetts, we had two famous asylums. One was the Danvers State Hospital, which they copied. Danvers State Hospital, it looked like a castle. The movie Batman series copied the building of the Batman series. And Hitler even copied some of the asylums in Germany during World War II. So this stuff, I'm telling you, this stuff has so many legs that are connected to it. And I guess I'll wait for Jimmy to come back on, and he's going to show us like 4 minutes, but it goes by quick because you're going to be amazed. They're going to show all the people, and then they're going to have their names and the dates underneath them. And I was really surprised at some of them. Now, some people were Odd Fellows, and they were also Masons. So it all goes back to London, like Bo said last week.
Man, this is a huge conspiracy. Like, if this is true, it's huge.
It is huge. And not only that, they built asylums all over the world. And it was always in the 1800s. And I know in Danvers, they got rid of Danvers in the 1950s. Did you know the Danvers State Hospital, what's underneath them? I think I brought that up last week, was the Salem witch people that were hung.
Right.
They buried them under the Danvers State Hospital. There's 700 bodies under there. Now they've got condos. Who wants a condo on top of that mountain? I don't know. But anyway, and also Worcester State Hospital is another one that just got demolished. But they all got demolished in the 1900s.
Did you say Western State?
Worcester State Hospital.
Oh, okay.
And Jimmy's now going to show you the famous people that are Odd Fellows.
All right.
Odd Fellows
Society, yes. They're an offshoot of the Masons.
So it's another
But they're
cult-like club.
Yeah, but you can be both. You can be an Odd Fellow and a Mason.
Right.
Bush.
Churchill.
Planet Earth.
Yeah. I mean, you can shut it off if you need to.
It was almost done. Wow. So let me.
Did anybody notice anything about all these men? First of
Yeah.
all, they claimed they were
Lots of presidents.
non-political. Number two, they were non-religious. Did anybody notice anything else?
The other thing I noticed, especially in the very beginning of the list, was all the people that were from the UK or Britain or subsidiaries of British power, like Canada, some of the other places. That's one thing that I did notice.
There was no one black there either.
Oh, well, yeah, and I noticed to Gigi's point, I noticed that, and I was kind of wondering if they're all related because I know in England, like in other like dynastic rule around the world, it's all based on bloodlines. Like it doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether it's the
But most
U.S.
of them are because they're all married into one another, regardless.
Yeah.
Even if they're kings or queens of different countries, they have marriages for hundreds of years, so they are all kind of related. But there were a couple of black people towards the end of the video, like the first woman dentist, the first certain like firsts of their kind, which is weird to me.
Well, they did have
another conspiracy.
They did have black asylums and black, but they were segregated. And I do think there was an Oddfellow Black American society too in the United States. Do you know that they have a bone museum in Manhattan, New York, and it's real human bones, and these Oddfellow guys used human bones on their rituals. So like I think it was Bo said about rituals and occults. Well, they did a lot of rituals, and this bone museum, you can look it up on YouTube. It's unbelievable. It's fascinating, but it's crazy that they use, I don't know how they got their hands on real human skeletons. But
Gail, the answer is yes about the black, and it's called the GUOOF. They have their own branch.
Oh,
the
okay.
Oddfellows have their own black branch.
Thank you. So I was right. Okay, thank you. The reason why I wanted to show this, because I wanted people to see that these were all politicians, basically, and they were all wealthy people that funded these asylums and these orphanages. So that's why I wanted to touch on the Oddfellows.
Hey, you want me to share this real quick? Because this is very interesting to me. There's a little video here. It looks like 7 minutes, but we can only play a little bit of it. But it says a secret society and their ritual skeletons exploring the Oddfellows. Do y'all want me to play a little bit of this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen that.
Interested in seeing that. Yeah.
Hang on a second. Share screen.
Is that one of the things I sent you, Gail?
No, you just sent me about Wiley, the guy who founded it.
But quick question: what's the difference between all
I
of
think
these?
you did something about the Bone Museum.
Is the video a white chick, an English chick?
It's still loading.
It's still loading.
I have no idea.
Yeah, as soon as it loads, hit pause it real quick, because my question is, what's the really quick, if anybody can answer, what's the difference between all of these clubs / secret society types when all of them consists of the same types of people, just different names for the same exact type of group? What's the difference and what's the point?
There's no difference in any of these.
They're all covenants.
Yeah, they're all
covenants, but they all have their own agendas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they all have their own agendas. This was actually touched on in the Fallout TV series, another thing, in like in the video games, which is predictive programming, and I can go on for hours about this. But basically, the what it is all the wealthy people in that series and in real life, they have their covenants, they have their cliques, they have their own agendas, and they are at war with each other.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. the other thing is each covenant, they worship different deities for different things. And so their rituals are based upon what deities that they're worshiping or entities.
Wow, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's
Why do you
kinda
think they
crazy.
have skulls, and why do you think they keep bones and things like that? That's for occultic rituals.
That's wild. Okay, I got the video up and ready.
Hey,
Jimmy.
you like
Oh, this girl is
Have
good.
you ever wanted to be part of a secret society? If you are looking for both, then this video is for you. Among our exhibits here at the Bow Museum is an exhibit on one of these secret societies that were notorious for using real human bones. Hi, my name is Masha at the Bow Museum, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Oddfellows. Originating in the 18th century in England, the Independent Order of Oddfellows, or Oddfellows for short, are believed to have come as a differentiation from other fraternal organizations that are rooted in the trades, such as the Freemasons, who are believed to have come from a stonemasonry guild in the medieval ages. The Oddfellows were a group of people that didn't come from the classical trades and would work jobs back then that were considered to be odd, basically the outsiders. As their popularity grew, they quickly spread to Australia, Canada, and where we are right now, the US. The Oddfellows are believed to have come from a medieval guild that focused on helping people during tough times. And that is exactly what they did. Their motto was even friendship, love, and truth. How nice. The Oddfellows were known for charitable work. They would build orphanages and hospitals, they built cemeteries for their members, and also offered burials at a low cost or for free. They would also help their own members that fell on tough times financially. They were also one of the first and only societies to allow women to join under the Rebecca's branch founded in 1851. Allowing women to join in the 19th century, maybe they weren't the bad guys after all. Now, their popularity did start going down after the Second World War as societal and cultural attitudes shifted away from joining secret societies. But there are still ongoing branches around the world with their activities unknown. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or the skeletons. Yes, the Oddfellows did use real medical human skeletons in their practices, but they weren't the only fraternal organization to do so. In fact, at one time, it was so widespread for them to do so that medical companies actually started advertising specifically to these organizations. One Illinois company, Demolin Bros & Co., who now sell marching band uniforms, actually started off selling fraternal organization paraphernalia. They would sell ritualistic cloaks, as well as initiation devices such as strict chairs and Ferris wheel goats. And the Oddfellows is just one of the organizations that would purchase from them. And when the Oddfellows would purchase a skeleton, they would sometimes even build a custom coffin for it to be used as storage. How nice of them. Now, there was one Oddfellows lodge that were known to be big pranksters, and in their coffins, they would even put a hydraulic system that when you stepped on a lever, the skeleton would jump out at you. Just some silly little fun. There's not a lot that is known about the practices of the Oddfellows, as they were, a secret society. What we do know is that they use skeletons in some of their rituals. So let's talk about one of them now. And we're going to talk specifically about their initiation ritual. Maybe you can become an Oddfellows after this. The initiation would start off with the blinding of the initiate with these glasses. Now, these glasses are completely blacked out. If we turn them around, you cannot see anything in them. Now, as you've noticed, these glasses have this little handle here. And actually, when you pull on it, it flips the glasses up. Now, just imagine, you don't know anything about these people. You barely know anything about the society at all. And imagine, they put these glasses on you, they bring you into a dark room, and as they flip these up, all you see in front of you is a skeleton. Now, this skeleton here actually has a string attached to the jaw that would make the skeleton talk. Now, unfortunately, we cannot demonstrate this as the string is incredibly fragile, but thanks to some wonderful editing, we can help you imagine. What thou art he was, what he thou will surely be, is what the skeleton would tell them. Basically telling them that yes, they are flesh and blood now, but soon enough, they're gonna be just like him. The Oddfellows initiation ceremony was a memento mori. It was important for them to know that you only have this one life to live and you should use it for good. The initiation would start with the initiate being blindfolded with these glasses and brought into a dark room called the Lodge of Reflection. If you've ever heard of the term hoodwinked, it's believed to have originated from this Oddfellows practice. These glasses also had high side rims, so you would not be able to see anything that was not directly in front of you. Now, with this history in mind, I'm sure you're wondering, why and how do we have these skeletons here at the museum? Does this make us a secret society? Of course not. We're open to the public Wednesday to Sundays, 11 to 7 p.m. in Bushwick, New York. So make sure to come visit us in person. But
all right, I guess that's good enough for guys now.
Yeah, this is the video I was
okay.
talking about.
Yeah, I didn't know any of this stuff. So let me get this straight. So these people, the Odd Fellows, Gigi, they were responsible for like the asylums and the orphanages.
They were funding them.
They were funding them. Okay.
And they own some of the buildings.
Okay. So they were okay. All right. So they were funding them. Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Gail.
Oh, the next one we're gonna show it's like 7 minutes long, but we're only gonna watch 3 because it's very important to watch the beginning of this. And I'll get into it gets into the Cabbage Patch Dolls. Well, any more questions about the Odd Fellows?
I actually have one.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Oh, you want me to go? I gotta ask, and this might sound really weird, but bear with me. Do we know if they were cannibals or used blood in their rituals?
Not that I know of. I think it was strictly the bones.
Just the bones.
We don't know. Like
we
if
don't
they
know.
are, we have, there's no record that I've been able to
No,
find
there
of it
isn't.
yet.
Okay.
Quick question, Gail. If you have found this out. So they're really presenting themselves as like really good people, charitable,
Right.
like the friendship, love type, whatever acronym they had there. But what's the real agenda? What is their real like?
I'm gonna do some more digging on that because
Okay.
on the out they look like they're doing something good for humanity by
Right.
the orphanage. But if you look what the history of what went on inside the asylums, it was just horrible. It was barbaric.
Never judge them by what they say.
Right.
Judge them by their actions.
Right.
They're
Right.
okay. Oh, I forgot what the time period that they were. They're the modern
1800s.
woke. You know how woke tells everyone that they're here for the planet and they're here
Right. Climate change
for,
and
yeah, the
Yep.
helping the trans community, and then you look what they're doing in real life. It's the same playbook. Every single
But
generation,
I
every
want to
single
add
group.
to the reason why these orphan trains went out the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, they were building up the country and they were building it up as industrial and agricultural. But they don't tell you where most of these kids went. They went to factories, industries, and farms.
Yep.
Do you think they were treated nicely? They
No.
worked them
No.
all
They're
day
slaves.
long. All
And
day
probably a
long.
lot of them died. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm assuming
exactly.
most of them died. Which is
And
sad.
I don't want anyone to know that actually our country was probably built on these child trafficking labor that was going on. And I
Exactly.
think eventually they did an executive order for child labor laws because in the 1800s they didn't have them, and they used children that were orphans to their advantage, put them to work and make them as slaves, and that's what it really boiled down to. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that's why my original question, I'm trying to make sense of it because there was presidents and politicians on both sides of these like societies. So it's like, well, who were the real good or bad ones? Because all of this was happening and they're all in the same time period. You know, like one became a president and then let's give an example. The next president was of the other secret society. You know what I'm saying? And then what Dave said makes sense. Is like they're at war with one another. So it's like our reality, we're thinking that this is just like another Tuesday. Like this is how things go. Yeah. But for them, it's like a tribe, like a war between nations for them, because it's like two different groups, two different teams.
It's a holy war in a way. It's a holy war in a way.
And don't get me wrong, some of
Yeah.
the children did go to wonderful families and they became wonderful pillars of the community. I'll use that phrase. But the saddest part, they don't know their roots. There's no photos of these children, no documents, no certificates. Some of these kids had parents, but they couldn't afford to take care of them, so they took them away from them. So we've got people walking around that have no idea what their roots are. And I'm going to do, I probably won't be able to do it tonight, but incubated babies back in the 1800s. And Jerry Seinfeld, I heard today, his father was an incubated baby. And I'll get into that. They used them on display.
What do you mean?
Yeah, let's talk about do that next week.
I'll do
Yeah.
that next week.
What does that
Well,
even
yeah,
mean?
this thing opened up so much.
Yeah, we'll leave it because I like it when we leave Ruby hanging for like a week. So maybe she won't.
That's messed
9:40.
up, bro. Like,
Maybe she won't wait till 9:45 to get on next week. So
I'm gonna be running home. I'm gonna run home like 9:15 and start.
So Jimmy's gonna show this cute little orphan girl with postage stamps all over on the next video.
All right. Share screen.
Oh yeah. So while Jimmy's getting my last thought.
Okay.
This all boils down to classism. So the rich is always going to step on the poor's neck, which is most of us.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever gonna change, honestly. So
probably not.
I don't really care like what clan, what group, what secret society they came from. They were all rich and elites, and
yeah, they were.
We'll never, I don't think we could ever like end that. But
did you know that this group was associated with the Nazis?
The Oddfellows?
The Oddfellows?
Yeah,
Yep.
I just looked it up. The Oddfellows. There was an investigation that shown this in 1990.
Really?
Yeah, I just found this.
Isn't this unbelievable?
Yeah, and they're also associated with KKK and white supremacists.
Yo,
that doesn't surprise me.
When they showed Robert E. Lee, I was thinking that in my head. I was like, ooh.
I know. It's kind of. I was like, wait a minute. I said, dude, this is smelling Democrat deep right here.
Well, look at the
I was like,
it's the 1800s. The Civil War was going on in the 1800s. All kinds of. Oh, I forgot to add. Barnum and Bailey Circus. P.T. Barnum himself was an odd fellow and a Mason. Yep. And he needed what? To get his circus going. He needed what? Manpower, right? Better way to get all these orphan kids to join the circus, thinking it's so exciting, so he could have this wonderful Barnum and Bailey Circus using orphan children. Because he popped up when I was doing the Oddfellows. I'm like, what's he got to do? Well, yeah, he had all kinds of people, and he admitted he had slaves, and he admitted that he abused them too. So that's another horrible part of this.
That's what it is. I think that's what it is. I think that is another like number 2 what it boils down to.
I got to say something real quick before we move on. So Harry Truman, I just looked this up because I've heard of Oddfellows being of the. Well, the Oddfellows were behind Operation Paperclip that evacuated.
Wow, good one.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's Harry S. Truman who authorized it. Is a Mason.
For those who don't know what that is, can you explain what paperclip is?
Oh,
so
boy.
Operation Paperclip.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, it's basically the U.S. did not want. The U.S. wanted German rocketry and technology because it was more advanced, and so they gave them amnesty for the Holocaust if they agreed to work for the United States government.
Yeah.
Origins of the CIA, people. Origins of the CIA also.
Yeah.
And Nobel Prizes.
Wow. So
all
that's the connection.
All spearheaded by who?
British. Gail, I already told you this, Gail, but I got to tell everyone this. When Gail told me about this, I saw this thing and we started doing investigating. I was like, Gail, you just opened up a whole other can of worms, and it went straight to Britain because I was like, Gail, I have this feeling it smells like Britain. And then me and Gail were investigating this, and sure enough, the big bees are there.
Yeah, that was another point I was gonna tell you, Bo. Before us, Britain was the empire and was colonizing the entire world, so it would make sense that all roads lead to Britain before they lead anywhere else, at least in our modern history. So I will never doubt that it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like.
Well, I mean, I know that, but what I'm saying is yes, it does, but when we look at the darkest aspects of human society, trafficking, drug trafficking. And now, one thing like industry and creating colonies, yes, a lot of them go to the British Empire. But when we're looking at the most darkest and evilest shit on the planet, it is going to the Brits.
Yeah,
like that's to me, that's too much of a not a coincidence. I'm going to say
Right,
there's
it's
too many
not.
coincidences that they're all going to the same place. And then
Right.
all these organizations, like, I don't know this for sure, and don't quote me on this, but I've heard, and I haven't done too much research, that Adolf Hitler was originally, the group that started the Nazi parties. The original
Yes.
was backed by the British, but I
I
don't know
would,
if this is true or not.
well, so backed. Here's the thing, that's debatable. I've done a lot of research on this. So Dietrich Eckart, who was a part of the Tula Society that shaped Hitler into who he was, right? He and other members of the Tula Society studied in Britain, and they say in their own memoirs they were inspired by Britain. Whether or not they were backed is debatable.
Well, and then
but
I'd
they
say
were
that
at
because
least
Adolf
inspired.
Hitler, he thought that the British were going to fight on his side. Like, he really thought
Yes.
that. And when the
Yes.
British did it, he was all pissed off.
Mhm.
And that's when he went after the secret societies, because he found out that what happened
Which
in World
makes
War
sense,
One
right? Like
was
now
caused by
everything
the
makes
British.
sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
This
it's all a
is
plan.
this is insane.
Okay. All right. I'm done. Sorry,
Okay,
Gail.
we're going
I
to
didn't
show
mean
the
to
next one.
derail you there.
Okay.
I want you to watch this first before I talk about the cabbage. You'll see, understand how this fits in.
All right. So when Jimmy's ready, he'll share his screen and then I can put it up on the panel.
Okie dokie.
This is gonna be a lot to think about. I'm gonna start dreaming about this stuff. Like
Oh,
when
I'm
I go to
sorry.
bed.
I didn't mean it to.
Guys, is
No,
it
it is not a
real?
bad thing.
Huh?
No, I don't
Hold
see
on.
anything here.
Hold on, because I'm sitting here playing the video and I keep hearing y'all talking. I'm thinking, wait, are we?
You don't see any?
No, you have to share it on StreamYard.
Oh,
then
sorry,
I can put it
y'all.
up here.
Sorry. My bad. I hit the wrong button. I apologize.
We'll forgive you.
Okay, now I see it here. Put it full
good.
screen.
All right, here we go.
On February 19, 1914, a little girl named May Piersdorf traveled 73 miles across Idaho with 53 cents in postage pinned to her coat. She was just shy of 6 years old. The route was ordinary enough. Grangeville to Lewiston, then on to her grandparents. What was not ordinary was the category under which she moved. Not passenger, not daughter. For a brief, astonishing moment in American history, she was treated as male. That detail is so strange it almost resists interpretation. It sounds like folklore or satire or one of those stories history produces only by accident. But the more I kept returning to it, the less it felt accidental. Because once you notice a culture willing to imagine children as things that can be routed, labeled, displayed, forwarded, or reassigned, other images begin to look different too. Even the cheerful ones. Even the absurd ones. Most people know the Cabbage Patch as a toy aisle memory from the 1980s. Soft dolls, adoption papers, a sales frenzy dressed up as affection. But the Cabbage Patch long predates the toy. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Europe and North America were flooded with postcards showing babies sprouting from cabbages. Not one or two, thousands. In the Francophone world, these were part of a familiar visual language around birth announcements. A polite way of talking about babies without talking about sex. A stork in one country, a cabbage in another. Then, in 1896, one of the earliest films ever made on the subject of birth turned the image into motion. A fairy lifting newborns from a painted cabbage garden and laying them neatly at her feet. That is the official and perfectly reasonable explanation. A folk image, a euphemism. A little visual joke shared among adults who preferred modesty to anatomy. I want to be careful here. That explanation is real. The cabbage baby motif did exist as innocent symbolism. New parents sent those cards to friends and relatives. Artists printed them by the thousands. Filmmakers borrowed them because everyone already understood the reference. Not everything strange is sinister. But history becomes interesting at exactly the point where a harmless symbol survives beside a much less harmless reality. Because the same era that laughed at babies growing in gardens also produced systems for moving actual children in ways that were bureaucratic, commercial, and sometimes chillingly impersonal. The postal cases were real. A few children were literally mailed through the new parcel post system, carried by trusted postal workers until the Postmaster General finally had to issue instructions that human beings were not to be accepted in the mail. The orphan trains were real too. Between the 1850s and the late 1920s, roughly 250,000 children were sent from eastern cities westward under what reformers called placing out. The language sounded charitable. The staging often did not. The familiar version of that story is rescue. Charles Loring Brace and other child savers looked at overcrowded city streets, child homelessness, immigrant poverty, and institutional neglect, and concluded that the best hope for many children was a farm family in the interior. In that sense, the movement did save some lives. There were children who found stability, affection, education, even political success. There were households that took in a child and meant it in the deepest sense of the word family. But here is where the story becomes difficult to ignore. Rescue was only one layer. Underneath it was labor. Underneath it was sorting. Underneath it was a system that made vulnerable children legible to strangers mainly by stripping them of context. When orphan-trained children arrived in small towns, they were often presented in public gatherings where adults could inspect them and choose. Contemporary accounts tried to soften the scene, but even sympathetic historians concede how degrading it could be. Children were looked over for health, manners, strength, complexion, usefulness. Many placements were not adoptions in the modern sense at all. They were closer to indenture. A child worked in exchange for room, food, and oversight. What looked like a charity story was also a labor story. What looked like a family story was also an allocation system. And many of the children were not even orphans in the strict sense. Some had one living parent, some had relatives, some had simply been swept up in the vast machinery of urban poverty, illness, migration, widowhood, alcoholism, overcrowding, and reformist certainty. An institution could see a child as endangered, and the family could experience the same event as disappearance. That matters, because once a child entered one of these systems, identity itself became unstable. Names changed. Ages shifted. Religions were altered. Siblings were separated. Older children were often encouraged to sever contact with the past. Records, where they existed, were inconsistent. Many children were too young to remember their birth families clearly. Others remembered and were told not to speak of it. The archive that remains is full of gaps, substitutions, approximations, and polite silences. And this is the part that the cabbage image begins to illuminate. A baby pulled from a cabbage is a baby with no visible mother, no labor, no blood, no social scandal, no legal complication. The child simply appears clean, detached, ready to be announced. It is a charming image, yes, but it is also an image of origin without history, of birth without a witness, of arrival severed from the woman who made it real. Once you see that, the postcards stop feeling merely whimsical. They start to look like the visual fantasy of an age that was becoming unusually comfortable with children whose beginnings could be blurred, translated, or reassigned.
Jimmy,
I
you
do
can
not mean
stop
the
it.
post.
Okay. Wow.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow.
Great reset.
Now,
Yep.
the Cabbage Patch dolls derived from the postcards that elderly woman that they showed with her husband. She's the one that drew up the postcards, and it mushroomed all over the place. And I just want to add about the Cabbage Patch dolls. I don't know if anybody can remember that craze in the 80s with the Cabbage Patch dolls.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
the woman who made the Cabbage Patch dolls, her name was Martha Nelson Thomas in 1983. She was from Kentucky. She called them doll babies. She made them Cabbage Patch dolls. Well, this creep named Xavier Roberts, he went to one of her auctions. He copied her patent, and he's the one that made the Cabbage Patch dolls here in America. He made millions upon millions off of her patent with the Cabbage Patch dolls.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
remember
what he did was he put little birth certificates in each little Cabbage Patch dolls to make them look so sweet, like they were being adopted. That's how sick this was.
So, okay, a couple of things here.
Go ahead.
Because this is reminding me of like Build a Bear, where you can build
Yes.
the bear, get
Oh
the
no,
certificate.
don't bring them up.
Wait, what? There's another conspiracy with them too?
No, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going. I'm not looking them up. Trust me.
Oh, I was about to say because please.
She said no more. No.
I'm going to keep
Yeah.
my mouth shut because there is. So
Oh no!
Oh no! With the Build-A-Bears?
Okay, so
I
save it
won't
for
doubt
next
it.
season.
I don't want to.
So the very short version is, if you look at the timing of the Build-A-Bear compared to socially what was going on and why they're so popular, some people hypothesize that it's a reference to designer babies, right? You build a bear, you build your own bear, you give it to a family, you give it to your friends, and it also implies surrogacy because guess what kids do? They build a bear and then they give it to their friends. It's supposed to be a companion, right? You give it to your friends. What do? You have a baby, give it to someone else.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
I'm gonna put a pin in that because I'm not going there tonight.
No,
I know. That's just a short version.
Okay,
I'm going to
thank
end
you.
with the Little Rascals because I said I was going to talk about the Little Rascals. Now, the reason why the Little Rascals got linked with the orphans, it has nothing to do with the orphans, but I'll give you a little history. Hal Roach was a silent movie producer, and he was outside one day and he saw a group of kids playing stickball. So he came up with the idea for the silent series called Our Gang, which later became the Little Rascals. And they were all orphans. They didn't have any families, and they had the hate girl clubs. But then I was watching this documentary on them, and there was a lot of symbolisms from Masons on some of the silent movies. They had things that would depict that they were Masons, which I didn't know what the connection was. And I said, I'm not even going to bother. Well, anyway, when the Little Rascals came in the 30s, they all had families. They all came from the staff that was working on the Little Rascal production. So I just want to squash that because people say that they were from the orphan trains, and they weren't. They had nothing to do with them. They just portrayed orphans when they started off with the silent film Our Gang. And most of them were actors, and some of them were pretty famous actors that starred in Our Gang and the Little Rascals. So I just wanted to say that because people have, on Joe Rogan, some guy linked the Little Rascals to the orphan trains, and they had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
So, and next week I'll talk about the incubator babies that were displayed at the World Fairs. These were real newborn babies that this guy put in glass incubators and charged money to go look at them.
Yep.
Okay. So so when I was watching that video, a couple of things popped up in my head. The first thing that popped up in my head was that this is the consequences of abolishing slavery. Because as soon as that was abolished, something is always going to replace what was there before. And they're going to replace it now. Instead of Black people, now it's children.
Yep, children.
Unfortunately. And not only is it just children, but it's also children that were also like historically slaves even in their own countries, because those races of people were also slaves. It was Black people were not the only race that were used as slaves, right? Like newsflash. So not only was it children, but it was also the children of the immigrant races that came over here. That was the first thing that popped in my head, was like that replacement theory, because slavery was no longer a thing.
Can I add something to that point, Ruby?
Go ahead. That was my first.
Yeah, I want to hear your second point, but I want to make sure I make this one on this one. Yeah, you had the children that were being used to replace the Black slaves. Okay. Once they couldn't use the children anymore, think about slavery is an economic thing.
Right.
So economically, once they couldn't use the children anymore, who did they use?
I'm still getting there.
I'll tell you the answer. I'll tell you the answer.
Go ahead.
All the people, because it was
it
was an economic thing. So that's when 1913 came in with the Federal Reserve, and all of us became slaves to the system, debt slavery. So that was the progression of that.
And women
That
in
makes sense.
factories in World War II, they took women out of the home and they put
Yeah,
them in
that's right.
factories.
There's
Correct.
something I
Well-
want to tell you guys about the cabbage when you have a moment.
Go ahead.
Okay, one point to Dave's
Let-
comment, because I'm sorry, that was a consequence of war. I don't necessarily believe that it was an intention to take women out of the home, but it is more
Oh
of
no,
like a
it totally was,
symptom
Ruby.
of
It was on both
It
sides.
totally was. Yeah, there's validity to both of those points, but
Okay.
I think the majority of it was they knew. Hey, economically, how are they going to get more money? Oh,
right. They were forced to. They were forced to because all the men died. But
no, no. I'm talking about the people that ran the system. They needed more tax
Okay.
revenue. So how do you get more tax revenue? You put these women to work too.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah,
was,
but they had. Okay, hold on.
I know they had to go
We're
to the work.
deconstructing narrative live, okay? Because this is what I learned in school. Let's rewind for just a second.
Mhm.
The women had to go to work because their husbands went to war. It wasn't like
Exactly.
they had a
Yeah, there weren't
choice.
enough men to do the jobs.
Okay,
Correct.
I agree with
And that
that.
was
then-
But
designed on
who
purpose.
started the wars? Who designed the wars to occur in the first place?
The bankers.
That's
The elite.
my point.
And they want
Exactly.
more
That's my
taxes.
point. So
And how are
there-
you going to get a greater
that's my-
population instantaneously? It doesn't work. You're going
All
to
right.
wait for the children and the dead men to come back, or are you just going to turn the 50% that's already there?
But like I said, it's
Taxing.
a symptom of that.
Okay, so
I don't think that was the
let's look at the
intention.
timeline. Let's look at the timeline thing here. Ruby is correct. Yes, the women had to go to work because of the war. Okay, men died, all that.
Right.
Fast forward. Let's go ahead and fast forward this because yes, Ruby's right. But fast forward about another 25 years. That's when women started coming out of the homes because the bankers needed more tax revenue, so they would be able to tax the women as well as the men. So it's a time frame thing there. So,
Okay,
you
that
see what I'm saying?
that helps. That helps.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes,
All right.
that was by design.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Go ahead, Bo.
Okay, Cabbage Patch Kids. Now,
Mhm.
did you know that the cabbage is associated with the Celtic system and it is a symbol for magic and love magic?
Yes.
I
So,
did not know
I
that.
want you to think
no.
about this. Hold on. Cabbage Patch Kids and the love magic. So we have kids being associated with something that's associated with love. Kid love. That's what the Cabbage Patch Kid means. Think about the symbolism.
The
The cabbage itself represents in the Celtic
Mhm.
belief system of sexual behavior.
Sexuality and
now you're putting a
fertility.
child on that sexual behavior.
Okay, are you
intentional.
insinuating that it is directly involving the children?
Yeah. So if you
Yes.
if you go look up, does the cabbage cat have a significant? It does cabbage have any significant in the occult? And you'll see that it does. There's not just one thing. It's got a long list of things. It has a lot to do with magic and other occult things. The cabbage does. They view it for whatever reason. They view the cabbage has something to do with like reproduction, sexual fertility, and all that stuff. So
Okay.
with that being said, if you're a Satanist, because that's what it is. That's a satanic
Right,
belief system. All cults are all satanic belief systems. They like the PD stuff. Now what are we doing? We're taking orphan kids, putting them on the vegetable that symbolizes our
Mhm,
lust, and now we're selling it to a bunch of Christians.
Okay, I get that element, but let's rewind again, just real quick.
Uh-huh.
That was just like the symbolism of a birthing announcement, like, oh, we're pregnant, and
But what is its origins though?
okay. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Why do you think it has that background?
The playbook is the same. They always wrap something up to seem like they're doing really good, and this is a good thing.
and this is how they insert their symbolism to tell you in your face.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
And
like,
I
why
get
isn't it a tomato? Why isn't it? Why did they pick that
Right,
particular
I
vegetable?
understand.
Yeah,
I
there's always
understand.
a reason.
But hold on, was this system used like modern day adoption? Am I understanding correctly that they would send babies to people who wanted to be parents?
I would say, yeah, the adoption age. Well, okay, yeah. Hold on before I speak.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, because I do believe that the adoption agency is completely flawed. I do believe that, yes, just like with the orphan trains, some of these kids, they do find good homes. They do become good members of society, and have successful lives. But there's a lot of kids that have been adopted, have been put into environments that are detrimental to a child's upbringing. Another faction of this, where there's a lot of corruption, a lot of child trafficking going on, is CPS.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
It is right with or what's the word? It's flooded with child trafficking. So,
But
Yeah,
with the
I don't-
cabbage, I'll go ahead, Dave. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, I was going to say, to your point, the Cabbage Patch. I mean, it is child trafficking, right? And
Yeah.
it was a
Right.
form of adoption, and I would argue it's no different than modern day adoption, because back then all you had to do is say, I want a baby boy or baby girl of this age, and you would pay postage and one would magically show up.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah,
need to
and that's why Jimmy was saying, yeah, some of them got good homes, a lot of them didn't. Just like today, if you pay $40,000 and can find a good lawyer, yeah, you can buy a child. It just costs more.
Okay, so that's like the underground evil stuff that's going on. They're using this as a mask to send children to and buy them, sell them,
I
whatever.
mean, and there's documented evidence of, let me be sure the way I word, fuck it. Where there's been kids that have been adopted and have been used basically for sex. They're being abused.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. There's no checks and balances, so we would never know. Like
Correct.
that's the problem. We will never know anything, honestly.
Yeah, the fact that there are no checks and balances tells you that it's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's
That's
pretty
what-
sad. It's
it's a
pretty
red
sad
flag.
because there are people out there, and I can just, I wasn't able to have kids. I was just wasn't able to have them. But what if I wanted to, have a child back, when I was younger? It would cost so much to do it. Why do they make it so difficult for people, your everyday Americans, to be able to afford this?
That's a good point.
Because they want them to go into that machine, that industry, so then they can go to the people
Take advantage.
that don't deserve them, that get them, they get state money, and then they work that avenue for that. Now, I'm not saying, because I know people that take kids in and stuff and adopt them,
Yeah.
and like they're like fantastic people,
Yeah,
and they
of course.
take kids that are, I mean, most people can't deal with. But I'm just saying, like what you were saying, Jimmy, is we know, especially after a Biden administration, what was going on, what's been revealed, that there was, I mean, the 300,000 that went missing. Like, how on earth in the I mean, everything you do is tracked. How could you possibly
It's a
lose
lie.
kids? It's
It's a
completely and
lie.
utterly on purpose.
It's a
There's
lie.
no
See,
way
this
you could accidentally lose kids.
This is why I get so frustrated sometimes when I'm talking with folks, because we're talking about children here. Our precious, the most precious of all of us.
Right.
And you got people wanting to, complain about, this or that, or, oh, Trump said this, or it's like, guys, there's more serious things going. And the children thing, a lot of people don't even want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable for them. Like Ruby.
I was one of them.
Yeah, you said 2 years ago, hey, I don't want to talk about this stuff because it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
it
needs.
Gotta rip that Band-Aid off.
It needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed, because I could say that even though I may disagree with others and they may disagree with me on some other points, the children thing, nobody should disagree with this at all.
Yeah. And they won't, because anybody who actually does, there's a problem with them. And we've seen this like on those TV shows and things, or even parents who they act weird. Like I saw a video on Facebook today that they left their baby in the beach by herself. It was a baby who couldn't even crawl, right? Like a baby. And when they see the cops and everybody's like, "Oh, why did you leave your baby?" They're just acting like, "Oh, we just went for a walk," like so nonchalant and like acting dumb. That's how you know there's something wrong with them, right? So it's
It's like
you can
a
see it.
human being out from between your legs. How do you forget that?
You don't, right? So it's like
Exactly.
you know it's a lie. You know when they're playing with you. That's why I feel like those people who are trying to act like they're stupid and they're really not, and they're trying to play us who are our eyes are open and awake. That's what gets me upset, because it's like you think I'm stupid, right? Like you think I'm the dumb one who's gonna believe your story and say, "Oh, we lost track of time. Oh my God, thank you for helping." And it's like they're trying to turn it. It's like, no,
Yep.
honey, you know exactly what you was doing, and that's what gets me upset, right? Really quick, Jimmy, when you was saying that 2 minutes ago, I was thinking of that this is just like this child problem like we're having because of the Satanists, and what Bo kind of already explained to us.
Mhm.
I feel like this is a cycle that just reinvents itself through time. So it was then the trains and the cabbage. Then it just morphed and evolved into different things to what we have today, which I can identify like Planned Parenthood, abortionists, etc. Because it's the exact same thing, but they were just handling it differently back then, because I'm sure a lot of those kids died, they abused them, etc., which is exactly what's happening today with adoption and these same-sex couples adopting babies just to abuse them, and then they get caught later on when the police finds out that they've been doing this, because the child either died or like CPS got involved or something, revealed or exposed what was happening to those children. That's how I kind of feel with all of this information, that it's just the same thing, but like 1800s version. And it just evolved into what we have today.
Well, if you remember, I mean, Trump even did give a speech, and in front of many in general, I'm looking at it right now, where he says that Trump claims some people think of human trafficking as an ancient art.
Right.
Y'all remember him saying that? And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is something that they've been doing.
It's never stopped.
Yeah, and if you look at what the Trump administration has done, oh my! I mean, every week you see it. You see my X page. Every week they're arresting pedos, and rescuing children.
And the mainstream is not talking about that.
Exactly.
It is insane.
Exactly.
And that tells you who they work for.
Exactly.
Period.
Does it make sense now?
But I used to trust Fox News at least. Like I used to.
They're bad too.
You see, that's what gets me, because everything that I've ever heard about this stuff is on X. It's on X. I would, if I didn't have X, I would have never known that these things were happening.
So think about this. Like Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet. He owns X, obviously. All this is coming out because of Elon Musk. So if you think about this, I know that we don't say this really, but Elon Musk is like the head of the white coats. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. We would not be talking about this. We wouldn't know about this.
To that point, Bo, I want to make this. I heard this earlier this week. It's like, the deep state globalists, they had their money guy. Their money guy was who?
George Soros.
Okay. Did the media or did any of these politicians want to destroy anything that Soros had his name on? If he had a car dealership, would they have destroyed his car dealerships?
No, absolutely not.
They would not have. So you could look at Elon as the equivalent of Soros, but fighting for the people. And he has the funds to be able to do it.
Right. I want to believe that. I do.
And you just admitted you wouldn't know some of this stuff that we talk about if it wasn't for X.
Exactly. I wouldn't. And that's why that's my number one news source is X. It is the most freest platform ever. You won't get banned or shadow or whatever anymore. Not that I know of, but there's more freedom on there to look things up.
Why do you think they're always attacking Elon?
Oh, I know. They hate him. I know.
Exactly. So once you start pulling the curtain away, you know, who's behind the curtain, a lot of this stuff starts making sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that was,
It's
yep.
11:56.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left for final thoughts. I thank you, Gail, so much for bringing up all of that information because I didn't really know the backstory to none of that. If you would have told me Cabbage Patch, I would have thought of the doll. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that in itself kind of feels like when they told Neil to follow the White Rabbit. That's how I feel with this with little things like that, like a doll would make you research something, or you know, something so small, and you fall into a rabbit hole like that, and sometimes that's scary to me. Like I don't know. Go ahead. Anybody else jump right in?
I'll jump in.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing occurs out of a vacuum, and I mean, like I like to study things, and I like to think I know a little about a lot, and be full of useless information, right? But I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And just even and guys, remember, this is like what Gail brought up, which is phenomenal information. So thank you for doing this. Gail.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
But remember, this is in America. Now look at what the rest of the world is doing, right? And you know, and this is where when you zoom out, and this is why I think people gravitate to the distractions, because I mean, a lot of people don't have the time or the willpower to go through the rabbit hole, and there's a lot of gross stuff in America. People don't want to think about what's going on in the rest of the world.
Right.
I got something to say to you guys.
Yeah.
So there is this writer, and he wrote this thing that you guys might have heard of, and it says, "The truth shall set you free."
Yeah.
Throwing it out there. If you guys are wondering who this author is, his name is John.
You know, bro, you know, I was gonna say this earlier that there, and I don't know the scripture, but does anybody remember? Please help me out, chat. The scripture where Jesus says that if anyone misleads these little ones, let him put a thing around his neck and
oh yeah,
be cast into the sea. Yeah,
exactly.
I think it was a mill around your neck.
Yeah. Okay. So if anybody can put that scripture in the chat for me, I'll greatly appreciate it, because when we talk about this stuff, I wouldn't be able to if it wasn't for my faith that would allow me to contemplate these things and just believe wholeheartedly 100% that there is a God out there that would make good things happen out of bad events, but that he will still use those evil bad events to his will and take care of those children, and that they do have guardian angels, and that the people who did that to those children would be burning in hell right now. Like, that's what allows me to even discuss this, because if it wasn't for that faith, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'll be blackpilled, I'll be depressed, I'll probably get addicted to something. But you see, like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that. So then the next but it's like the next best option for people like me who don't do that is to distract yourself. Go watch sports, go watch Kim Kardashian, go watch Taylor Swift, go to a concert, you know, like hang out with your friends and eyelashes and go do your hair and your nails. That's the distraction. But I don't even do that. So I would go insane if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, to like dead honest. But for some people, they have to do that to stay sane, because if they didn't, the whole world would be going insane if they knew about this.
Yeah, that's why there's been so many people over the last 10 years trying to get this information out to folks and get folks to start putting their eyes on it. I do want to play one last clip, Ruby, to kind of round out the end of the show. This clip is actually kind of I think it's kind of good. But we talked earlier about the storm. That one video I did, it talked about the storm. All right, so let me share my screen, and the guy doing this is Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson's been really good sharing a lot of this legal information about the Law of War manual. He's an educator. He's really good, and he can back up his information. So let me share my screen. Get to here.
I'm sexy and I know it.
That one.
Jimmy,
That was.
what are you doing?
Hey, hold on. Hold on. Let me pause. So I saved that. Hold on. Let me stop. I saved that because me and my wife share funny videos to each other, and I haven't been able to show her that one yet.
Can you send that to me? Can you send that to me? My wife is gonna love it. She's gonna love it. I need to do
Okay, all right. So before we get serious, let's go ahead and play the cat one.
I'm sexy and I know it.
What's the name of the animal?
I'm sexy and I know
Oh my word.
All right. Now that we've had our laugh, let's go to the
planning about. You should be planning about. You should be actually enjoying the show no matter how bad it gets. You should be, bad in your definitional terms because it's not bad. If you know the verbiage and the terminology, it's not bad. Nothing going on right now is bad. So a lot of people are just losing focus because you're allowing the wrong people, quote unquote, influencers in your life. And guys like me, I'm quick to separate that I'm not an influencer. Some people call me that now, but you got to remember, I'm a retired veteran first. I'm a veteran first. I'm keeping my oath first. God gave me a platform to deliver to you the information, but I don't consider myself a podcaster. And if you would look at it that way, then a lot of you would separate some of this bull crap that's out there because a lot of it just don't matter. A lot of these quote unquote influencers, they know, they don't know. The ones that don't know that they don't know, that's even worse. They shouldn't even be out there. All right. So there's a lot of things. It's just a bunch of noise right now. Just all chaos and noise. And you control that. It's also part of learning and adapting to the future, what's coming, all these different things like AI and all these different tools. They're good when they're good. They're bad when they're bad. But you still got to learn them because that's where we're going. Technology's not going away. So it's the same thing with influencers out there. A lot of you are liking and loving, like clicking like and love on stuff that drives that post to a more visible. And it's just making more people go to it. It could be no planning about.
So that is the reason I wanted to share that is because too many people out there are getting hoodwinked by these influencers and they're being pulled in many different directions. And so, yeah. So just keep that in mind as you guys are researching things because you really got to look into what people are backing, who's backing them, and all this stuff. And a lot of this stuff has been put out here to make you feel discombobulated, crazy, and it's a diversion tactic. And I'm just trying to get
They don't want you to celebrate the wins. They want you to feel the wins are losers.
I mean, because what happened?
The wins or losses. Sorry, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, because what happened with this UFC thing on Sunday? Huge.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it, and
we're separating from the British Empire, and we're leaving all the pedos, and we're leaving them behind. And our army is so big and badass, and most of their weaponry we make for them. So what are they gonna do when it comes down to it? What are they gonna do? We could just go up there and go, "Oh, British, what are you gonna do? You're gonna send your non-existent aircraft carrier." You're going to send your non-existent ships. You're going to send your falling apart tanks that aren't even operational and 30% aren't functioning. Ooh. Yeah, sorry. They're not doing nothing. They're going to sit there and they're going to cry and they're going to tell us what to do and they're going to tell us that we're meanies and we're jerks and we've got white privilege. And I'm going to say, I'm America. I don't have to care what you say. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Oh, what are you going to do? Guess what? We have 22 aircraft carriers, 11 super carriers. You have what? I'm sorry. Oh,
This
I
is
forgot.
why we should
None.
just nuke Israel and give the survivors back to Germany so they can be taught some manners.
Sorry, guys. I need to calm down with the British jokes. It's getting out of hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
hey, you
I
know
don't like
what?
them. I hate them. Let's
And
be
this
honest.
is why, you know, and one of those things with the event, when King Charles and them came over to visit, does that explain it a little bit more now? Because everybody was like, why is the king and queen coming over here to eat? And then if you think about it, while they were on the South Lawn and Trump was leading them down the South Lawn, who did they have flanking? They had Revolutionary Guard uniforms on, or the colonial Revolutionary Guard. Oh my God. The colonial outfit. Yeah, the soldiers. Thank you. I'm getting tired too.
Yeah.
So that was a legal proceeding in that Admiralty law to where they had to be witnesses of this breaking away. So it's pretty cool stuff.
It's awesome. I cannot wait for the 4th of July. I think really good stuff is going to happen on the 4th of July. Like I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go buy fireworks. I don't ever buy fireworks because my dog gets scared, but he's so old that he's deaf now and he can't hear nothing. So it doesn't matter. And so I'm going to go crazy on the 4th of July. I'm going to be like blowing stuff up.
He can still
Bo, I was going to say, if your dog, if anyone who's American in America is watching this and your dog is scared of fireworks, it's time for a new dog. It's not patriotic. Time to put it down.
No, he's part of the family. He's my little warrior.
There's a whole meme around that. I thought you guys would have seen it because it's hilarious.
Do we want to do final thoughts for this evening?
Yeah. If anybody wants to jump in, go right ahead.
I talk a lot of smack about the British, but I want everyone to understand I don't have any hatred for the British people. I hate the British system.
Yes, exactly. Same thing with Israel. I have no problem with the citizens of that country. It's their government. So, so let's go to Gail. Thank you for that information this evening. Excellent work.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me speak.
We'll pick back up on the incubator things next week. What were your final thoughts for tonight's show, Gail?
One of the reasons why I got into the field I worked with a lot of children, and I can relate to this. The orphan train, when I discovered it, shocked the crap out of me, because how can people send all these babies across country to God knows who they sent them to? And I think of what goes on in a child's mind. I'm not thinking about the adults. What's going on in these little children's little minds? They're uprooted, and maybe some are better if they were sleeping on the street and stuff. I get that, but to go to a complete stranger, way out of the Northeast, and I just want to add, I can identify with the asylums because some of the women I worked with, they were duly diagnosed. They called them mentally retarded back then in the 80s and 90s. And they came from a horrible school called Walter Fernald. They had several documentaries on Walter Fernald. And the guy was a creep. He called the place Nutty Crust. He called them morons. And one man, and I think he just passed away not too long ago, he went to Congress and said, could you please take moron off? It's very emotional for me, because could you take it off my birth certificate? I'm not a moron. I ended up getting married and having a family because I left that horrible place, but it didn't define who I am. Please take. So they did, and they took that off his birth certificate. But I just want to say that the stuff that went on with the women that I worked with, I had 4, 2 were nonverbal, 1 was a Down syndrome, and excuse me for swearing, because I don't really know the shit that these clients were put through in this place. I can attest to that firsthand, what was done to them. And it wasn't the clients don't rape, the staff raped a lot of these women. And when one of them, I will not give you their names, I had to take her out to the community to get some medical work and a test. When she saw a man, I was embarrassed, because she was a very pretty woman, even though she was nonverbal because she was brutally raped in this place. So I had her taken her into Boston at Mass General Hospital. She saw a guy and she started to grope him, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, because this is what happened to her, and this is all she knew. And I tried to talk to her. You know, I had to learn sign language, but it's just appalling the things that I witnessed. But I'm just glad that I was able to work with a lot of people that were sexually abused, physically abused, and emotionally abused. And I hope I left an impact on some of them, because I was in the front page of the Boston Globe for saving someone's life. And I went on to save 2 more clients' lives from trying to commit suicide. So I did make an impact with some people. So I felt good about that. But I have a deep feeling for children in this world, and they're always exploited and abused, and it never stops. It goes all the way back from the beginning of mankind.
Yeah.
And thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Gail.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
that.
you, Gail.
Dave?
I can't wait till next Tuesday.
This is gonna be wild.
I was gonna say after Gail's story, I don't know what to do. Yeah, next week should definitely be interesting with the incubator, because I'll put a pin in it, but I think it's also connected to transhumanism, and I can touch on that too.
Yeah, it's like branches.
I want you to hear what Jerry Seinfeld says about his father being an incubated baby. I almost fell over when I heard that one. I heard that today. I said, I gotta send this to Jimmy about Jerry Seinfeld. He can attest
Yeah,
to
save that so we could play it. We could play it and watch it together.
I'll save
Yeah,
it.
save it.
Doug?
Last thought for me, real quick. This is all kind of I kind of feel like it's bleeding into our side of the world, because this is probably something that goes on in other parts of the world. We just don't know about it, but they want to infiltrate that system in America. And even though maybe it has worked for some time, it's no longer going to work. And that's what they're angry, is that we're waking up and we're learning about all of these, you know, they want to make it as like if it's a charity, like they're helping these kids or they're helping people, and we're waking up to the real agenda behind it. And that's what they're angry and they're upset about, because they won't be able to transact anymore in America like they do elsewhere. I mean, I don't know, this is just a theory of mine, but aside from all those black pills that we had to swallow today,
Red pills. Those are red pills.
half of it was black and the other half was red, because and it was huge and it's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Pause. But I kind of think that this is bigger than Trump, like the way you say that. I do believe that, and I'm glad you always say that, because I was putting too much of my hope and faith in one man, which is Trump. And that's where my dissatisfaction was always coming, because it's like Trump is not perfect and he's never going to live up to any amount of standard that we put him to, no matter how much we try to do that in our mind, because we think of him like he's going to save us as of some point or somehow. That's kind of how I took it early on. And I was upset because it wasn't, my expectations weren't being fulfilled the way I thought they would. It was a temporary success, and I was happy. Like, he won, he did this, he did that. He was doing a lot of great things, but that's what happens when you put too much of your faith into one imperfect human man. And I wanted to say that because we have to stop doing that. We have to stop looking at Trump like he's our all one, be one type savior, and put that type of faith in God, Jesus Christ, if you're confused, because there is nobody on this earth that's going to fix all of these problems the way we want them to, because humans are corrupt. Humans are evil. That's just in our nature, in our fallen nature. That's who we are. And I truly believe that only God can fix these types of problems. So I just wanted to put that white pill out there for people, because you're going to hit that wall and you can't let that get you down and depressed. because Trump can do a lot of things, but he can't do everything. Like Melania just did the fostering for, did you see that? Melania set up fostering accounts, investment saving accounts for children in foster care. Children, when they turn of age, they will be able to get the money that they've been saving for since the very beginning that they were put into the foster care system. Melania is the only first lady that I could ever think of that is helping children in the way that she is. That's what makes me feel like we're going in the right direction. Because in the first term, if anybody forgot, they did a whole task force of saving children. And Ivanka was heading that in the first administration.
And that's never gone away.
And that's great, right? But it's like Trump is the only president that I could think of right now that has ever done publicly like saving work for children in those circumstances. They were finding children, they were providing the care for the children that were abused, and they were doing counseling and therapy. And then this time around, she's focusing on the foster care, the foster industry. That's amazing for children.
The Lord picks the best person for the job. That may not be, I mean, you look at scripture, Ruby, and you look at those men, King David, everything of those nature, they're not good people. But I mean, honestly, they're not. But the Lord picked them for a reason. Trump is not a good person. I'm not going to say that he is the way he talks, but he's the person and he's the right person. And if the Lord picked him and said, this is the job you need to do and is behind him, then there's nothing that they're going to do that's going to stop what he needs to do. And that's how I look at it.
Thank you for saying that, because I don't, that's exactly how I feel. Thank you for saying that.
And Ruby, that's why I made the statement earlier that I feel that I stand 100% behind Trump on this, on everything that's going on right now. Because like you said, no other president has done some of the things for the kids like he has. That's because these other presidents and everybody, they were beholding to the system that was in place, that we've seen in place for 150 some years. And, you know, a lot of the info that we presented tonight, we presented last week, and things that we've done on this show, a lot of us, we didn't know about this stuff, let's just say 5-10 years ago. And we're learning about it. So the question is why didn't we know these things? Well, it was hidden from us. And if you can hide history from the people, they'll never know what happened. So they can keep doing their BS all over again. That's why it's so important for us now to not try to find fault with each other and be like, oh, well, you believe this and you believe that. It's to come together. It's to come together and identify the problems that are in our face and have been in our face, and they were created to hold us down for so long. So if we learn this information, it's important for us to put it out there to help others understand this history, so that as generations go on, we can pass this stuff down, and hopefully our children and our grandchildren won't have to go through the BS that we're dealing with right now. And you know, that's what the founding fathers, just a second ago, that's what the founding fathers envisioned for this country. They knew the hardship of being under Britain's thumb, and they fought to get out from underneath that. And they taught their kids about what Britain did. They put the Constitution in place, and it was all fine and well for a while until they got infiltrated, and here we are. So that's why we're going back to 1776.
I wasn't interrupting you. I was just telling you guys I have to go.
Oh, okay. Good night, Bo.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you, Bo.
So my last thought for this evening is I know that there's people are being pulled in many different directions. They want to know about this guy, this. They want to know this. Why is this? Blah, blah, blah. Why is it taking so long? Well, I actually got some thread on that. I can put that next week. But just sit back, take a breath, say a prayer, because good will triumph over evil. It already is. You may not see it, but as we know, the revolution is not going to be aired publicly.
Yeah.
So we can see things changing.
Yep, I have a quote real quick that I had to look up because I remember this. I saw it on X from Napoleon, and his quote is, "War is when the government tells you who your enemy is. Revolution is when you figure it out yourself."
There you go.
And that quote, yeah, I every single time I see that quote, it it's like a mini reminder, like that's exactly what we're experiencing right now because the government is no they did you see Jimmy, like
Yep.
the approval rating when they kind of do like their polls or whatever, and they're polling our generation on their approval for Israel, and it's literally lower like than 20%, and they're panicking because they're realizing the boomer generation that's on its way out was the generation that was unfortunately bought and paid for. Like they were indoctrinated to believe
Correct.
whatever the government
Correct.
handed to them, right?
Yes.
But now that they're gone and we're coming up, they're panicking because they know that our generation is no longer going to support their wars, their agendas, their anything anymore.
Exactly. And why do you think Charlie Kirk got killed?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I believe he was taken out because he was the loudest voice that was pro-Israel at first, but was slowly shifting to an anti-Israel, pro-America agenda, and they were not going to have it because they gave him that platform, and it would be a slap in the face to them and their millions of dollars that they poured into Charlie for him to turn around and do America First agenda. Of like, to me, it's no brainer. Of course they killed him because they're not going to face that type of backlash. He's too big.
I said years ago in like 2019 when I was doing XJW content, we were on the round table, and I said back then, we're going to see Watchtower as we know it fall. And that has the Watchtower we all grew up knowing, it's gone. It does not exist anymore.
It's true.
So-
You're right. 100%.
So in 2019, when I said the Watchtower will fall, that has technically come true.
It has happened.
And so since I've been down this road with the political stuff, I'll say it again. I don't care what kind of, like Roosevelt said, the critics don't matter. It's the man in the arena that matters.
Yeah.
So I will go on record saying that by the time this is all said and done, the deep state will not exist as we know it.
It would be fractured, in my opinion, because I never believe that things actually end or die with just an idea or a person, but it will be so fractured that the moment they try
They'll
to
have no
spew
power.
dumb stuff, exactly, everybody would be like, "All right, thank you, have a good day," and they'll keep going. Like nobody would stop.
And
anymore.
this is why it's so important for everyone to understand what's going on and learn from this, so we can pass this information on to future generations.
Exactly.
This is a very exciting time in our history, and so many people, they don't even see it yet, but I'm telling you, you're gonna see it. It's gonna happen.
The deep state's going to go the way of the EU, is what you're saying, basically.
Oh, it's gonna be obliterated.
And Trump has already spoken about fracturing those alliances, which I've been waiting for him to come out of NATO for how long now? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's said things and promised things that we already agree with. We're just waiting for him to do it. So I want to live to that day. I want to live to see it.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you. You're gonna
Hopefully it does. I'm marking your words on a lot of things tonight. So this is gonna be
yeah.
a
You put
string
this
to
back in your
remember.
file somewhere. I want to see, because I don't have my Facebook page to go back. Because what
And
I
I
used
wish you did, man.
what I used to do is I would save stuff like 2020, 21, 22, and be on my Facebook, and then I could go back and do some searching. And be like, hey guys, see what I told y'all 3 years ago? Look what happened.
Exactly. And you can't even do that no more. That sucks.
Yeah, I can't do that no more. So,
Bookmark everything on X. Everybody, make an X account tonight. If you don't have X, follow Jimmy Bell on X. The links are in the live chat. Follow myself. I have the same handle on every platform at New Yorker Rican. You could find me anywhere. on social media platforms. The UPC Facebook page, you can follow us there. But I really want people to go to X, because X is where it's at. And that's where I can tag you on a lot of things. Follow me on X. Bo, I forgot to, dang it. So he left. So Bo, we're going to have to teach him how to tag on X, because I've been tagging him on a million things and I don't know if he's reading it. But oh well, he's not here to talk about it. But please go to X and follow literally everyone. I follow like 1,000 people on there, because I want my algorithm to be filled with news. I follow lots of people that share news, independent journalists, the real mainstream, journalists, media. I even follow the fake news sometimes, just so that I could see what they're saying and how different it is from real people on the ground with video going live and doing everything on X, and then the stupid media that posts whatever they want you to believe.
Speaking about the news real quick, Ruby, and we didn't even get to touch on this. I meant to touch on this, but remember when I told you guys that the biolabs were created and they were used?
Jimmy,
we're going to have to get
and I have the clip and everything.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that, but we'll do that next week, because if for those that don't know, we'll touch on this next week. Tulsi Gabbard released information this past Friday about the biolabs and what they were doing there, what they were creating, what was being shipped out to other countries. When Trump said, when he was asked, where did this come from? And he would say, China.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he was talking about
the country.
China. Yeah. But it was actually the cities in the Ukrainian territory, that the last name of the cities are CHYNA.
Yup.
Well, that's interesting.
And that's true. That's 100% fact.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because we knew this back in the day.
Yes.
But we couldn't say anything, or we'll get striked or banned on here.
Yeah. I got so many violations on Facebook because I was speaking out about biolabs, and everybody thought I was crazy and stupid and just believe in Trump. And we have been vindicated on the biolab situation. And
you guys have to see what look her up, Tulsi Gabbard. Watch the clip that she just put, because I bookmarked it to play it with you guys. But we'll watch it next Tuesday. So if anybody wants to do research on some homework, look at what Tulsi Gabbard is saying right now. And this is not the first truth bomb that she gives, because she gave a truth bomb about the Obamas doing a literal coup on the whole election stuff. Why isn't he in jail already? But okay, we theorized about this, but she's actually saying it from an official office. Like, this is real things. And I really feel like, I hope she doesn't get assassinated. Like, everything that she's saying, I feel that they're gonna get her. That's how I feel. Like, this is like
so many people already know this. Everybody knows this. It's just the public.
And I mean, at some point, with all the things that are coming out and all the people that are speaking out, at some point, you just have to stop. Otherwise, the average Kardashian viewer will see, hey, these 2,000 people all said the same thing, and now they're all just dying. Like, even they'll put it together. So it's like they could do that. Yeah.
But yeah, let's pick up on that next week, because that could get very lively. I got a lot.
Yeah. Please write that down on the agenda for us on next Tuesday, because we didn't even. Okay. And the scientists, write that down, because I want everybody to work.
They just found one the other day. They just found one of the deceased scientists the other day.
All right, so I'm writing. So as a preview for next week, I got biolab, scientist, and incubator. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, those babies. Incubator babies.
Yep. I'm gonna share Gail. I'm gonna email you a YouTube video that I saw recently from one of my favorite YouTubers. He dived deep into the connections about the scientists. If anybody else is interested, okay. So real quick,
were they all working on the same project? By the way, all these scientists.
Yes and no, but I'm not gonna spoil it, because
I'm just curious.
It's really great. I'm gonna email you the video, but if anybody else is interested, on YouTube, the channel is called The Lore Lounge. And he's one of my favorite YouTubers, and he did a whole deep dive into the scientists and their deaths and everything. Okay, Lily, I'll email. I'm gonna do a group email. And I'm gonna send you the video.
I wanted to ask, and I forgot. Now, Larry Ellis, wasn't he the owner of Oracle?
I'd have to double check.
I don't remember. I can't remember.
No, that's very important.
Let me just Google this since you brought that up.
Yeah, real quick. Before
Larry Ellis, Oracle owner.
Because he's
Survey
good friends with Trump.
says he was the okay. So so Larry Ellison was the co-founder and largest shareholder of Oracle Corporation, owning approximately 40%.
Did you know his tie with Israel?
Yeah.
He's a Mossad, whatever you call him. He's one of those, and he goes all the way back with Netanyahu. And he's the one that's funding the AI data centers here in the country, along with two other gentlemen. Trump had a whole thing in Congress about introducing.
Oh, yeah, because of Palantir. He's a part of Palantir. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's why I said, I wonder if that's the same guy that owned Oracle. He's a very wealthy man, by the way, extremely wealthy.
Okay, really quick before we go, I'm gonna email this to you, Gail, but just for everybody else, this is the channel. It's called The Lore Lodge, and right there, that video is so good. What's really going on with the missing scientist conspiracy? He's one of my favorite YouTubers because he goes into like conspiracies, missing persons, icebergs of conspiracies, and yeah, it's a really, really great channel. So if anybody's interested, that's the video right there.
Does he touch on the two MIT scientists that were murdered?
That
happened.
Is that the most recent story? Because
the MIT scientists, and I heard they were murdered too. Him and his wife.
Okay, I'm not sure about that one, but I the only one that I saw recently was this one. So I'm gonna send this one to you.
All right, great. Thanks. I can't wait to watch this. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
I wrote down Iran peace deal because we got to talk about that too.
Oh yeah, a couple of people said that. Yeah, and okay.
I got a lot to say about that too.
Me too.
Now, if I can't come on next Tuesday, I'll let you know because I'm having surgery Wednesday morning. So I'll let you know.
You know what, guys, we're going to be kind of limited next week too because if Ruby's going to come in late and we need to end about 12 because I know next Wednesday I got to be at work early. We might have to just pick one of these things and just have quick conversations about these things. Maybe we can get it done in 2 hours.
Because I don't know what time my surgery is going to be. I have to go to bed early if it's early in the morning.
Let's play it by ear because
just text me or email me, and whatever's best, we'll just do whatever is best.
So y'all keep an eye on Ruby's channel or my channel or for the community if we decide to postpone.
And let me thank you for letting me speak tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great night. It was not that crazy. It was like, we're gonna be nice tonight. We're gonna be good tonight. We behaved very well.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna say good night because I gotta go take a piss. Sorry.
Yep. All right. Good night,
I'm going to
everybody.
bed.
Thank you for joining.
All right, good night.
Yep.
Good night, Dave. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. See you next Tuesday.
They said I lost my mind, said I was chasing ghosts and shadows. I showed them what I'd find, but they just laughed and called me hollow. Tinfoil on my head, they said conspiracy delusion. Every word I said was buried under their confusion, but I could feel it in my bones. A reckoning was coming. I'd rather bleed and stand alone than pretend I wasn't seeing something. Call me crazy, call me broken, call me every name you've spoken. Paranoid, deranged, and blind, but I had something on my mind. Now the curtain's torn wide open. Every word I said is proven. Who's crazy now? Let the record show. Wide awake while you were in the show. cost me friends, they cost me sleep. Call me unhinged at the dinner table. They rolled their eyes so goddamn deep. Said I was broken and unstable. Lost my job for speaking out. Got unfriended for the questions. Every time I raised my doubt, they made it therapy, they suggested. But I kept burning through the night, connecting every dot they missed. The only question left was when I left. And now they get this. Call me crazy, call me broken, call me every name you've spoken. Paranoid, deranged, and blind, but I had something on my mind. Now the curtain's torn wide open. Every word I said is proven. Who's crazy now? Let the record show. Wide awake while you were in the show. You call me crazy. You call me lost. You call me lost, but you never counted the cost. Silencing the ones who see before the rest already. You buried us in ridicule, but truth don't shake so easy. Now the world is cracking open, and the shock is written on your face. And I know you want an answer for how you got so taken in this place. Well, I can say I told you so. God knows I've earned the right, but I held this torch for all of us. Not to prove I'm right, but to give you light. I'm not here to burn you down or tell you that you failed me. I know how deep this rabbit hole goes. I know how bad the fall can feel. I was once exactly where you're standing, shaking in the story they were handing. So take my hand, I'll walk beside you. There's a way to step outside this. Now you're questioning, now you're waking. Feel the ground beneath you shaking. Truth is heavy, truth is hard, but you don't have to carry it alone. We were crazy, now we're proven, and the world is finally moving. No, I told you so. Just take my hand. Let's walk out of this darkness while we can. Wide awake, we'll face the dawn. Wide awake, we'll carry on. We were never crazy, we were just the first to bleed.